That wasn't a good one. Let me try it again. Folks, that was better. We are live. A few minutes early, so I'll give everyone the ability to jump in here whenever they get a free second. Yeah, so if anyone is tuning in, they weren't in the Discord. By the way, if you're not in the Discord, go ahead and join the Discord. It's free. Everyone's invited. The invite's in the top of the description. But what I'm going to do today is I am going to talk a little bit about this topic because I think there's some information that needs to get out there. Look, there's been a lot of people I respect in the community. There was, people commenting on videos I've made. There's people commenting on a live stream I was on. Just making negative outlooks, negative comments, negative videos about, kind of the future of Pokemon. Like, we're kind of like creeping up to a cliff or something. It's about to fall off, or sales are about to drop off, or demand, whatever it may be. And I just think there's a lot of things that people don't think about. And there are also a lot of data that people don't really like to look at or take into account. So I'm going to go through and show all that today in the first half of this video. And then I'm going to bring on some guests. So look, credit where credit's due, right? I don't mind giving credit, but Jake had a good idea when he had his call-in shows, right? I mean, bringing people on live to come on camera and be able to kind of either hash it out. If anyone has disagreements with me, if anyone wants to, debate me about what topic, you can do that. If you just want to talk about any type of, thing you're investing in or any type of collection pieces you've been picking up, or, want to, any type of advice or what I think about it, we can do that. Any questions you may have, we can talk about this topic, pretty much anything you want. The only thing I ask is try to be respectful. I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to probably jump on for the live. And so, just try to keep it short, maybe one or two, different things, keep it under 5 minutes each, and we can kind of roll through and give everyone a chance. But, and then also, look, I told you I don't censor things. I don't moderate anything. However, if you're going to come on and do, act stupid or, try to, do anything, I will end it. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but just know that that might happen. Don't get too crazy with anything. All right. With that being said, I will leave the link. As we get closer to that, I'll drop the link in the chat. I don't want to do it now and kind of have the whole feed start to get lined up. So I will leave the link to the live coming up here in the live chat, and you'll be able to just click the link and hop on. Just, if you set up your webcam, set up your mic, and we'll do that. Let me get some shout outs real quick. See who's in here. Okay, we got Ponga. Ponga's always here. What's up? Jake Marble's in here. We got Jake says his content. All right, hold on. Where's that at? His content is really good, but not sure how I feel about the name. Is that me, Jake? You don't like the name of the channel? I don't know what you're talking about. We got Black Belt, Brew City TCG's always in here. Collectible Accounting, what's going on, man? Don Harrington, top channel supporter. Already, Don is gifting memberships. Leaf Green Goblin got gifted a membership by Don already. Did I just not say top channel supporter? Really appreciate it, man. We got Corinna's. We got Kana's Collectibles. Let's see. I'm gonna try to bring this up on screen. Kana said, didn't you say we should invest in modern sets? Now you're saying the market is dying. Look at the title. There's a question mark in there. There's a question mark. I didn't say the market is dying, but there's quite a few people making these types of videos about the market going to be falling off, and I got something to say about it. And let's not lie to ourselves. Negativity sells here on YouTube and in the world and media in general. Unfortunately, that's who we are as a society. Can't really fight it forever. Robert Lee, what's up? We got Oregon in here. Robert Lee says, I know you are not much Japanese, but what is your take on Erica's invitation SAR 151? Couldn't even tell you, man. I'm not keeping up with it too much. I just don't keep up with the Japanese stuff. Turbo KB1. We got Kurt in here. Trey, Jake T. All right. Everyone's in here. Awesome. Oh, and we got Pick Around 64. How are you today? Losty. All right. Everyone, the gang's all here. All right. So let's jump right into this. Like I said, for everyone just tuning in, if you weren't in the Discord, I am going to bring anyone who wants to come on the live. You can come on for a few minutes, talk about whatever you want. We can debate about a topic. You can talk about your investments or collections. You can talk about the topic of today. anything you want. Just kind of keep it short because everyone probably wants to get a chance. All right. So first off, I'm going to show you a couple dates. All right, because we all know about the Logan Paul pandemic boom, right? End of 2019 into 2020, 2021. We all know that those dates. But people don't always think about there was another kind of thing that propelled Pokemon into the modern era that boomed it a little bit. It's around the time when I got in, okay? Pokemon Go. Pokemon Go, the game, I mean, that made Pokemon mainstream again. It was worldwide. It was crazy. If you don't remember, you went around for it. I mean, it's what put Pokemon on the mainstream news again. It was insane. That was released in July 6, 2016. Evolutions, which was another huge set that brought millions of people back into Pokemon, that was released September 9th, Wait, what? No, this is wrong. This is wrong. I'm already messing up. It was not released then. Hold on. Stick with me. It was released in 16 at some point. Oh, why did I have this messed up for the stream? All right, I'm just going to do this. Bulba Garden has it. Jump in here. When was Evolutions? All right, here it is right here. November 2nd, 2016 in English. All right, so 2016 and 2016. You need to know those dates for this next part. All right, this was posted in the Discord because I was in a live stream and mentioned this, and I couldn't find the charts, and someone found some of the charts for me. All right. Here's black and white. This is Platinum Arceus booster boxes. So we're told that Pokemon never moved prior to the boom, prior to Evolutions, prior to Pokemon Go, prior to whatever made-up times people want to make up. All right. My stance is, after about a year and a half, 2 years, sealed product always moves. I'm just going to show you. This is black and white Platinum Arceus. Okay, it was released back here in 14. All right, stay stagnant. I don't disagree with that. I told you things normally stay stagnant the first couple of years. Is what we're seeing right now with Scarlet and Violet with Crown Zenith. It's been a few months. It's been 6-7 months. Big deal. Stagnant the first couple of years. Stayed stagnant, but then look what happened right when it hit about the 1.5 year mark. It rose in value. Now look, this is back in 15. There's no evolutions. There's no Pokemon Go. There's no big giant boom. There's no Logan Paul. What rose it in value? What had it jump from in the 80s and 90s up to $200 and something a booster box? But 3 times. So if you would have held for about not even 2 years, you would have 3x your money on a black and white box before the booms. Okay? Let's keep looking. Here's another black and white Plasma Storm. Same type of story. Stagnant for the first couple of years. What happened in the after the second year? Started to rise in value up in the probably. It's hard to see on this chart, but I'd say that's probably the high hundreds, maybe 200. High hundreds, maybe $200 a box after 2 to 3 years. I mean, over double your money in 2 to 3 years. I mean, like what? Almost triple your money, maybe 2.5 times your money. What do you expect in the stock market? 100% in 7 years on average. And yeah, I had some troubles in here, but then look, I mean, it started to rise again before the boom. The boom's up here. Pandemic Logan Paul's around here. Started to rise way back in 18 again. What caused that? I don't know. All right, next up, we have Flashfire. Flashfire, same story. Released back here in, I think, maybe early 15. Maybe it was 14, I'm not sure. But either way, stayed stagnant for a good 2 years. Good 2 years down there in the 80s. And then look at this. The third year, jumped all the way up to about $300 a box. So, yeah, you didn't see any gains for the first 2 years, but the third year, now you're up 300, right? Now you've I don't know, tripled, quadrupled your money in 3 years. You're hoping for double your money in 7 years in the stock market. Again, what made that happen? I don't know. It started to happen before 2016, but we just saw Pokemon Go and Evolutions right here, date right here. We're in mid to late 16. So how funny. I just realized I never shared all this. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not even paying attention to the chat. That's so great. Okay. Restart. Anyway, here you go right here. Here's all the numbers. I'm really sorry about that, guys. Really sorry. All right, right here. Pokemon Go, July 2016 release date. Evolutions, right here. Evolutions, November 2nd, 2016 release date. Those were the major catalysts in Pokemon before the Logan Paul, all that boom. All right, so here we go. Let's jump into this Discord now. All right. Here's the Platinum Arceus I was talking about. 14 and 15, no growth. Into 15, growth. Remember, here's July of 16. Here's Pokemon Go right here. Here's Evolutions right late here. Way back here gained all this value. Why? Sealed product rises over time as it ages. Next, here's the black and white Plasma Storm I was talking about. Took a little longer, maybe like two full years. And into the second year, it started to rise in value. Over doubled your money in 3 years. Next up, here's what I was just on. Flashfire, right? Stay stagnant for a couple of years. The third year, this is July right here. So this is Pokemon Go. It was already up before Pokemon Go. It was already there. Pokemon Go didn't do it. It was already there. Rose all the way up to, you can't really tell what it is. Like I said, you can't see on the chart, but I'd say it's roughly high hundreds. And then by 17, it was up in the 300s. So what, about 3 years of investing got you 3 to 4 times your money? Not too bad. Not too bad. All right. And then we can go look at, this Primal Clash. Here's a big one though. Here's Roaring Skies. So Roaring Skies crushed it out of the gate. Everyone say, oh, XY, everything was stagnant. Nothing was stagnant. Everything was moving. Roaring Skies was crushing it. It was $300 a box. And then Pokemon did something they hadn't done since the 90s, probably. Early 2000s. They did a massive reprint. And it crushed the price, and it killed everyone's confidence in the market. People they didn't know what other sets were going to get reprinted, so it really halted everyone on buying sealed product. And that's why it did stay stagnant until that Logan Paul boom we hear about with Roaring Skies. However, pay attention to these dates. 17, 18, 19, no movement. No movement all the way through 2017 through the end of 2019. No movement in Roaring Skies, right? But we're told it was all Pokemon. All of it. All of it. Well, if it was all of it, why is black and white in 17 and 18 and 19 moving up? Before the boom. Before the boom. Black and white moving up before the boom. Look at Flashfire. Look, the boom's here. Why is it continuously moving up? I thought XY didn't move. I thought XY, here's hold on. Here's Primal Clash. Oh, sorry. He posted the wrong chart for this. This is just 2020. But you see what I'm saying? Pokemon was moving always. It always has. When I got back in the hobby, a base set booster box was $800 in 2015. How did it get from 80 back in 1999 to 800? How did it 1,000% gain when Pokemon was dead? It was never dead. Sealed product has been rising since the beginning of the whole era, the whole beginning of the whole franchise. Now, has there been ups and downs? Has there been times when it went flat? Of course, that's the market. That's any market. Look at any stock you want. I'll tell you what, let's do it. We're live. We can do it. I don't have to tell you to do it. This isn't a pre-recorded video. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to bring up the stock market. Let's look at Amazon. Ready? Everyone's talking about how great of an investment Amazon is now, right? It's great now. What does it look like on a max chart, though? What does it look like? Oh, you would have had to held Amazon for, what is that, like 20 years? 15 years? About 15 years before you start seeing a gain? And then it went to the moon. 15 years. You got to hold Pokemon sets for what? 2 years? You see what I'm saying? Like, everyone doesn't want to ever talk about the time it takes for investments and companies to mature. It takes time for investments to mature, but to say Pokemon's dead because Scarlet, Violet, Paldea, Crown Zenith are 2, 3, 6 months old and they're not moving, it's mind-blowing. It blows my mind. Here's another thing that was talked about. People think the market is irrational. People think paying money, paying a premium for slabs is irrational behavior. No one actually wants these things. They're all buying into this delusion of grandeur that they're going to become millionaires investing in Pokemon. It's not the case. Brought up some examples. So here's evolutions, all right? People are still buying evolutions. Everyone knows how overprinted evolutions was. These are recent sales. Everyone's still buying evolutions booster boxes every single day. Every day. Up here, someone's still buying a whole case of it. Everyone knows it's played out. Everyone knows there's too much of it. Still selling. Here's the even better part. Okay? Everyone's so worried about pop reports and the numbers. Oh, CGC or Beckett grades so much harder than PSA, so those 10s are better, so everyone's going to want those, or they should want those. Everyone's always telling consumers what they should do. You notice that? Everyone always thinks they know better than the consumers. The consumer should like the other 10s because they're harder to grade. Consumers, shouldn't pay this much for slabs. My plays are getting leaked out. But people shouldn't be paying this much for slabs because they could do it themselves, right? They could easily go out and find these cards and grade them themselves, or it's not really worth this much. There's so many of these out there. Okay. Well, guess what? There is almost more evolutions graded than almost every other set out there. It's up there with some of the most. Look at this. Someone's still paying $70 for a Charizard. Someone still wants to pay $70 for a Charizard EX. Very easy card to pull. Actually, look at this. You can buy it near mint for $10, $11. Here's some near mints down here. Let's sort. Let's go ahead and sort by near mint. You can go pick it up on the market right now for under $10. You can grade it for $15. Why would anyone ever pay $70.99? Must be irrational behavior. It must be irrational. Or, why does that keep coming up? Or, does the consumer not care about all the things you care about? Investors do not, let me say this. Investors do not run the market. Consumers do. Customers do. People who just genuinely want, I know it's crazy. I know, just stick with me. They genuinely want the slabs. They want them. They want to own the slabs. You can't, all right, eBay, you got to stop with this outbid stuff. I'm going to scroll down a little more and show you something else. All right. You're going to love this. A common Starmie. Common. It's a common. It's an evolution's modern common. Do you know how many of these are? Look at this. Oh, I brought up Weedle on accident. Hold on, the Weedle's right here. Here's the Weedle. That's the one I brought up. Weedle, 4 cents. It's 4 cents a card near mint. It's 4 cents. It's not even the reverse hollow. It's the regular non-reverse hollow. 4 cents. Starmie's just about the same, a few cents. That's it. Someone's paying $210, $122 for that card. Now, does that person think they're investing? Are they running the numbers? Are they calculating the pop reports? Are they comparing PSA 10 to CGC 10 to Black Label and trying to figure out where the best value is? No, they don't care. They have the money. They know what they want for their collection. They can afford it. It's in their budget. They've checked last sold listings. They've decided this is a fair price. They bought it. That's it. That's it. And for everyone out there who thinks that PSA, all these slabs are all going to, crash because everyone can do it, guess what? Not everyone wants to do it. One, not everyone knows how to do it. Not everyone wants to do it. Not everyone wants to go source cards and send them in and grade them and have them for themselves. Guess what? People still just want to go buy stuff off the market. As crazy as that sounds. As crazy as that sounds. I get it's not like a huge, gigantic wall to get in. It's only a $99 membership. You got to be able to pre-grade pretty well. You have to be able to make a submission. You have to send it in. You have to, put up the capital for the cards. You have to put up the capital for the grading once they're graded. And then once they're back, if you want to sell them or keep them, whatever. However, people just don't want to. They don't want to. They don't care. They don't care what you think they should be doing. That's all it is. Look at Darkness Ablaze. Found some more for you. Found some more on Darkness Ablaze. Here's a Manetric. Non-hollow, non-reverse hollow, Monetric Rare, $50. $50 someone just paid July 20th. If we go look up Monetric, 10 cents. 10-cent card. That's it, 10 cents. 10 cents plus a $15 grading fee, $15. Someone thinks it's worth 50. To them it is. Look, to think that there's not going to be large premiums on PSA cards is like saying this. It's like saying, I can go make my own t-shirt or order a t-shirt from a t-shirt printing company. I could go pay $20 for a Walmart or Target t-shirt, or some people want to go pay $400 for a Gucci t-shirt. Is that irrational behavior? Should they not be buying? You shouldn't buy that. You shouldn't own that even though you can afford it and want it. No, there's nothing wrong with that. It's not irrational for someone to pay. You may think they're overpaying. You may think it's not worth that much, but to them it is. To them it is. And there's always going to be people paying for, one, the cards they want, two, the condition they want in the cards. A lot of people want that perfect 10 condition. And three, they're going to pay you to do the things they don't want to do, which is source and grade cards. And if enough people aren't doing it, which I know it seems in this little Pokemon investing space that everyone's grading and everyone can grade. Newsflash, everyone's not grading. Everyone's not. There may be hundreds and thousands of us grading, but compared to millions and millions of customers, I mean, look at this. As I scroll, look at this. This is all July 20th. This is yesterday. These are all yesterday. Look, it's the day before. This is one set. Do you want me to show you how many cards sell? If you went through every set of Pokemon and looked at every single slab sell every single day, I don't think there's enough people. I mean, you would have to have so many people grading to continue to supply the market with what they want. And I get it. There's always factors like the economy, interest rates, it's getting more expensive to live. But guess what? There's a lot of people out there that are also doing very well in life. They have disposable income. They're comfortable. They want to spend their disposable income on Pokemon. So that's pretty much my whole rant today. I've just been seeing these videos and these comments, and I don't think I think we get so trapped in numbers and data. And listen, numbers and data are good tools. The PSA Pop Report, it's a good tool. Don't lock in and use that solely. Don't get too wrapped up in our own heads, our investor minds, and thinking, well, CGC only grades this many 10s compared to PSA, or black labels are this much more rare than that, or trying to, calculate exactly what the most prudent play is. Guess what? Consumer doesn't care. Consumer likes PSA. The consumer, maybe it might change in the future. I'm not here trying to predict the future. Maybe CGC will rise up. Maybe David will beat Goliath. What I'm saying though is right now, market wants PSA. Market sees PSA, they buy it. They don't think twice. They don't care if, Catch 'em all collectibles thinks it's a consolation prize. He used that term on the live. I love Dan. But they don't care. So when you're doing all your research and doing all this data, also think about trying to determine consumer habits and consumer behavior. I think a lot of people give the general public just too much credit. They're not doing all this crazy research. They're not worried about the pop reports. They're not worried about how hard it isn't to grade something. They don't care they can source it themselves, right? They don't care about all these different things that you're worried about, that you're, all in your own head about. They're just trying to buy things they like to collect. And if it's a fair price and they see others that have sold for around that same price and they determine that they can afford it and it's in their budget, they just buy it. That's all there is to it, guys. That's it. That's all I got. I'm sharing the link right now. Anyone who wants to hop on, want to debate that topic? You want to debate me on a different topic or tell me how wrong I am? You want to just talk about your own investing, collecting, whatever it is you enjoy in this hobby? Anything's open. All right. Just keep it YouTube friendly. All right. Don't want to have to end any any conversations. But yeah, links there in the chat. Go ahead and copy and paste it. Hop on, and I'll bring anyone on for the live, and we can just chat. If you've got a YouTube channel, feel free to promote your channel. I love giving anyone else a chance to kind of get on and promote themselves and help them out. If you see these boxes right here, I will promote myself real quick. Ancient Origins. We got XY, Pokemon Gym Hero. You in the chat? XY, baby. Pump it. Lost Origin and Silver Tempest. The box break is going to be this Monday night. nostalgianomics.com. Box breaks are all the packs are there to purchase. You can get in now, or you can wait until Monday during the break. But they're selling fairly quick. I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna try and say, hey, they're gonna sell out today. But yeah, I mean, they may sell out before the stream, may not. But if you want to get in on that, make sure you do that. So anyone, go ahead and is there a way to pin that? Can I pin comments in this? Pin, let's see. Streamyard. Trying to figure out how to pin this comment. I'll just keep it on stream. There is the link, guys. Anyone who wants to hop on, you can go and click the link. I'll bring you on the live and we can chat. Let me go and take a look at the whole entire what's been going on in the chat so far. All right. What kind of craziness do we got? Alexandre says every market has been both falling and going up at the same time. I like it. Mufasa in the hood. I love it. Mufasa in the hood. Yeah, I don't know why you can cut vids up so much. Why is no one talking about the market being a huge invest when they go up 25 on average? Don't know. I don't know. I think people have short-term mindsets. People, freak out when they see things fall a little bit. People freak out when things aren't selling out like they were in Sword and Shield with Scarlet and Violet base and Rebel Clash, or not Rebel Clash, Paldea Evolved. And it's just normal, it's just knee-jerk reactions. I think that's what it is. TJT, what's going on? Don Harrington, what's up, man? All right. Don said, based on the current market and pending release of Obsidian Flames, how do you think the set will do in the long term? I think all sets are going to do good long term in terms of sealed product. As far as, do I think you need to rush into it? I think we are going to have enough product where it's best to just wait and find your entry points and get in at the best prices you can. I don't think this is something you're going to have to rush into at release. No, that's how I feel about that. All right. Bringing on the first guest. Here we go. Max T, what is up? You hear me? Max, you here? All right, well, that didn't work. We'll wait. We'll wait for him to get that fixed, and I'll try to bring him right back on. Who else do we got in the chat? Trey said, let's get the Discord popping, y'all. We can become the biggest investment channel ever. Absolutely. Everyone, make sure to join the Discord. It is in the description of the video. I'm going to go ahead and find it for you real quick. I closed all my windows, and now everything's all jumbled. Let me try to get back in here. All right, here is. Go ahead and post the Discord. There's the Discord in the chat. If anyone wants to go ahead and hop in there, and if you haven't joined yet, everyone's invited. It's free, no paywall, nothing like that. So you go ahead and hop in the Discord. Wow, I thought more people would want to jump on and talk live. I'm always getting people asking me to if I want to if they let me know if you want to come on for a live and stuff. No one is in the feed right now, so I'm guessing no one actually wants to come on and talk live. I don't know. I must have been wrong about that one. I tried to give the people what they wanted. I've had a lot of people reach out to me wanting to do live. I mean, to where it's 5-10 different people, and I can't make a live every day, or I can't, continuously bring on people. So I thought I'd give everyone a chance, but I currently have no one in the feed. So we'll just keep going through the comments and doing that way. Ray, what is up, brother? You look like a science teacher without your hat. Oh, bro. AP chemistry. Throwing shots. See, you know what? Everyone's telling me and Ray have beef. Well, you know what? Now maybe we do. Oh, man. The modern market's going to die shirt? You know what, Dan? I think you need to make the PSA 10 consolation prize shirt first. That needs to be the first shirt that comes out. Oh, that's hilarious. Dan sells shovels and then tells people where the gold is. Exactly. Dan knows what he's doing, doesn't he? The guy that sells the shovels is the one that gets rich. I forgive all your sarcasm, Cam, is on BS detection level. All right, here we go. We got the next guest. Breaks and Games. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? I had no intention of going live with you.
Oh, it's all good. Welcome.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, let me mute this because it's echoing over on my phone.
Yeah, so go ahead. You can introduce yourself, kind of tell people, what you do and what your strategies are. If you're just collector, investor, flipper, and if you have any questions or whatever you want to talk about.
Okay, cool. I actually kind of got in right around the time of Battle Styles, and I never really thought of myself as an investor, but I guess technically I was, because I was doing a lot of the things that, Alex, that you kind of preach about, keeping stored sealed. But we started a Twitch channel, where we're breaking live and whatnot, and just kind of trying to get products at a good price to the community where it's not killing people like we see a lot of people doing. And from that, I started taking a deeper dive into it, and I've ran into people like yourself, right, who are knowledgeable, who run this like a business and not just like a collecting hobby. And you start to find all the gold nuggets of like what's really possible. And you get a lot of weird looks when people ask, what you do with your money. You say you sink it into Pokemon shiny cardboard. But when you look at the hard facts, there's a lot of really successful people doing exactly just that, because the numbers don't lie, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you said are you still doing like breaks and things?
What's up?
Are you still doing like breaks and streaming and things like that?
Yeah. So we're doing, we break. We just started back doing the breaks. We just started doing breaks again about a month ago, right? So we're only doing it once a week. Just kind of waiting for 151 and Obsidian to come out. But yeah, we're still doing it. It's fun.
It's awesome. So how long you been back in the hobby? Since Battle Styles?
Yeah, since Battle Styles.
Okay. What are your thoughts on where we're at? I mean, are you thinking we're heading for some trouble? You think it's business as usual? Do you think it's gonna boom again? What are you thinking?
Someone said it earlier in the comments, man. I mean, you got to remember, this is modern. No modern sets, which drives me completely nuts, right? But because I wasn't here to buy up Evolutions when people were trying to give it away for 50 cents a pack, right? But every modern set goes through that where it's just available. So I think that we're in a really good spot for those who are wanting to get in. Now, me playing devil's advocate a tiny bit, right? So Pokemon has come out and said that they were going to do better at trying to print product to make it available so that it doesn't look like Celebration stock levels where you can't get it and you have to go wait in line to maybe get one pack. However, what we see a lot of people doing is they're printing these collection boxes that nobody wants, right? Like Morpeko and Lucario Vs are just sitting on the shelves. But I mean, ETBs and booster boxes at most of the stores around the country, they're kind of bare.
Yeah.
I mean, even with people hating on Scarlet and Paldea, they're not exactly readily available for everybody. Certain places, we see it stocked, but I can say, at least in Texas and LA, it's pretty scarce sometimes. So I think there's definitely
and I mean, honestly, like I remember back in like 16, 17, 18, collection boxes, it was always like that with collection boxes. I mean, like this collection boxes you'll see selling on eBay now for hundreds of dollars, like the old Mega Gyarados collection boxes and the Snorlax GX and it's all the old Flygon EX boxes and Gengar EX. Like there were so many different collection boxes that literally were just on the shelves, $20, like $20 for a couple of years. No one wanted them. They'd fall off the shelves. You'd go there to find Pokemon product and one would be falling off the shelf. There were so many. No one wanted them. And,
sure.
I mean, I'm not saying like it's going to get to that point again where it's like, okay, now they're all going to be worth, hundreds of dollars. But as the sets, age, as the booster box price rises, as people can't find the packs for cheaper other places, the collection boxes rise just because the packs inside and, if the promo cards inside have some type of life as well. I mean, that's always yet to be seen.
Yeah. I think it's weird some of the Pokemon that they're putting as like the poster child, right? Like I'm surprised we haven't had like a Bidoof box or something like, a less popular one, right? If you were to pump out like all the the mainstay Pokemon. I think that those might help the collection boxes, because when you start looking at, and what a lot of people are doing is they're looking at the per pack price, and 4 packs for $25 when it just can't make sense to me in my head, because the average person doesn't want a jumbo card when they're having to pay the premium on it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I really miss, like, I would rather have the figure collections, like the Arceus figure collection over the jumbo.
Yeah.
Same with like so they did the same thing back with like Generations and Shining Legends. They made all figure collection boxes, but then they re-released them with jumbo promos and things instead of figures and like playmats and stuff. And yeah, I don't understand it. Now, with that being said, you wouldn't believe this. Jumbo cards are starting to actually sell. Mm-hmm. People are grading them. And some crazy prices.
Yeah, like the Rayquaza one. I think that's an awesome one. Or like the GameStop Snorlax VMAX one. Those are some cool ones.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts to think about. So what's your break channel?
So Breaks and Games. So twitch.tv at Breaks and Games on Twitch.
All right. Is there anything else you wanted to say before I brought the next guest on?
No, man, go for it. I was just filling time to keep it going. I think you guys are doing great, and listen to everything this man says. I haven't heard him say one thing I disagree with.
Oh, that's a little scary. You should probably disagree with me sometimes.
except for your last video, the Risk board game. I wouldn't touch that one, but yeah.
That's good. No, I appreciate it, man. Make sure you guys check him out if you're looking to open some packs. Breaks and Games on Twitch.
All right. Take care, Alex.
Appreciate it.
Bye.
All right. Max T's back. He's got the camera on this time. What's up?
Hey, man. How are you?
How are you?
Great. I was just wondering.
Go ahead, give the intro.
What's that?
Go ahead and give the intro.
An intro? I just had a couple questions, really. I don't really have anything to promote or anything like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. How long have you been back in the hobby?
I don't know, like 2015-ish. I took a couple year break in like 2020. And I sold all like my binder off right before like COVID and stuff. So a little bit unfortunate, but it is what it is.
So close to my same story. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. What's the questions?
I was just wondering if you had any position on Evolving Skies. I'm just curious to see if you got any ETBs or anything. I know that booster boxes are a little bit up right now, but the ETBs are still somewhat manageable. It seems like Walmart just had that restock or whatever. So
yeah, so I currently do not. I had I sold all my booster boxes, and I also sold all of my ETBs before. So there was actually a reprint on the ETBs, and I knew it was coming, and so I did sell out of my ETBs before the reprint. Now the ETBs are basically all up to what I sold them at, because I sold them in the 80s.
Yeah, for sure.
Now they're all back.
You're in US, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm in Canada, so it's just a little bit more, but same deal. Yeah, did you end up buying any? Did you get any from Costco or anything? I bought a bunch from Costco. That's pretty much where my stash came from.
Yeah, I didn't catch any. My Costco goes fast. My Costco and Walmart's around me. There must be a lot of Pokemon collectors and flippers and whatever around me, because they go quick.
Yeah, they were restocking for the whole month, and every time they would restock, I went in there and just bought them out. I think I ended up getting like 240 or something. So it was a huge haul when I had them.
So what'd you do? Do you break them? Do you sell flip them? What do you do with them?
For a while I was doing like live streaming, like just opening packs and stuff for people. But I still just have them all. Like, I don't know, I sold one of my cars. I was a big car guy and kind of got out of that, and because I just felt it was a liability all the time just worrying about my car. So I just bought some Pokemon stuff instead, because I don't know, it's always a great hold. I got a bunch of like Sun and Moon booster boxes and stuff, but I'm pretty diversified in what I'm holding, because I don't know, I don't like to have all my eggs in one basket, I guess, so to say.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, think about it, like cars, boats, like their entertainment, man, they can be money pits, where it's like, as long as you're not opening the packs, Pokemon's not really a money pit. It holds its value, it rises in value, and you're not constantly losing money like you're doing with the toys.
Yeah, you bet. That's exactly kind of where I made the decision from. So that's awesome, man. What are you holding mostly right now? That's Charizard UPCs and stuff like that, or?
I think Celebrations is probably still my like largest modern holding. Yeah, Charizard UPCs, I do have a good amount of those. I'm really diversified. I try to have a case of all the sets. I have like 2 or 3 some of the better sets that I felt were going to do better. I mean, I got a bunch of I have like 5 of Chilling Reign and Fusion Strike, and then like 3 of Battle Styles. But like other than that, yeah, I don't go too crazy like into like one product specifically. I try to just kind of diversify out.
Exactly. Are you holding any Crown right now, or are you waiting?
Yeah, actually. So I already had a couple cases, and I just bought one like last week because I found one at auction and it went low. Yeah, I'm still trying to acquire Crown. I mean, anything if I can find cases like sealed cases for like under 540, 550, I'm happy with that right now, just because I know people are kind of freaked out with that not moving, but again, I said it's 6-7 months. Like that is an amazing set, and I truly believe it is going to get valued that way eventually.
Yeah, you bet. I'm kind of waiting for the Christmas season just to buy in. Last year, there's a bunch of good Black Friday deals and whatnot. So I'm going to see what comes up this year and hopefully grab a bunch more Crown. I got 1 case of ETBs and then 1 of the premium figure collection, but I didn't want to overspend right now. It seems like everybody's trying to offload it and seeing some sales going on already and whatnot. So patience.
Yeah. Hopefully eBay keeps up those 15%.
Yeah. I personally don't buy off of eBay too much. I don't know. I really use like the Facebook groups and stuff. There's a bunch of good Canada groups. That's usually where I do most of my shopping, because most of the time you can avoid taxes and get good deals. But other than that, I use just Canadian websites when they have deals and whatnot. I don't know. I've been burnt with eBay. Just most of the stuff comes from the US, and sometimes you got to pay a $200-300 import like shipping fees when you collect it. So I just unfortunately don't really buy from there. The US is a huge market, but I don't know.
I get it. So you're basically just kind of investing, collecting on kind of on your own. No social media, nothing like that to shout out.
No, not really. Yeah, I just kind of do my own thing. I'm like verified in some of the groups, so I host like waffles and stuff like that here and there. But I really got nothing to plug in.
That's awesome, man. All right. Well, Max, man, I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you for your time, bro.
You too.
Do videos and stuff. So.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate all the support.
Yeah, have a good day, bud. See ya.
All right, you too. No way. We got Don himself. Top
Alex.
Channel supporter.
Alex, thanks. Thanks again for everything, bro. Apologize. I'm in Florida, so our allergies are really, really bad right now.
You're in Florida?
Thank you for everything you give back, man. Out of all the YouTubers I follow, main reason I support your channel is because you're solid. You offer great advice, and I haven't been steered wrong yet. And it's literally anybody that's out there that's looking to do this both as a hobby and an investment, they really should be following you because you have a lot of solid advice.
I appreciate that, man. Thanks a lot.
So, a couple of comments. First and foremost, for anybody looking to invest, do your research. If you're bidding on something, if you're buying into a live break, whatever it is, do your research. What are your odds of pulling something that are more valuable than what you're paying? That's our ultimate goal. If you're an investor, you're always trying to make that extra dollar. Doesn't matter if it's 50 cents or 500. Profit is profit.
Absolutely.
So literally I picked up tons of things just by doing 5 to 10 minutes of investment research, going, okay, what is my buy-in versus what is my cost? For instance, yesterday I bought a lot of Japanese product. I'm going to say I paid less than 40% than what's the current retail on it. I'm not looking to get retail, but I know if I either hold it or even if I was to flip it right now, I'm going to get my money back. That I owe to you, my friend. You taught me those principles, and I appreciate it.
I appreciate that, man. I'm happy they've been working for you. So you've been getting into the Japanese side of things a little more, huh?
Yeah. Actually, I only focus on tag team. Tag team, I mean, let's face it, with the triple bird combo and the way we've watched that card skyrocket over time, you literally, if you can pick up a pack of tag team in Japanese and you look at the price, use TCG Player, use Poker Data, any of those websites, you can kind of look, and I like Poker Data better because you can actually compare the price breakdown. But the Japanese sets are now, thanks to 151, I really say that in all honesty. 151 has taught us that the artwork for Japanese is really much better than the English version. It's just never been valued as high because it wasn't printed as high. Now with 151, we've seen that kind of reverse. And I honestly think Japanese will do a little better going into the future.
Yeah, it's really strange, kind of phenomenon with Japanese, because I think the reason, not really the sealed product, but the cards were always valued less is because they were always perceived as so much easier to grade. It was like, oh, well, you get Japanese cards, you're always almost guaranteed a 10. And now I don't know if it's like if the English is caught up or if Japanese, qualities went a little down, or if people just have changed their interest. But it is really interesting to see the Japanese value shoot up the way it has, because you're right. It is a complete change of what we used to see.
Well, the cardstock's much better. If you actually look at cardstock versus cardstock, the cardstock's always been better on Japanese.
Right.
Second thing is, I honestly believe with the way that the Japanese sets do their backgrounds, it's more prone to being graded higher. And then again, most people, and hey, everybody's got a niche in this investment world. If we're collecting, we're investing, we've all got either that particular Pokemon we're looking for, or we've got a certain grade we're looking for. I tend to go with 9s. Simple reason, it's my collection. I really don't care about a 10. I'm not trying to flip it. And I honestly think if you actually were to look back in the last 10 years, you will see your PSA 9s actually pay better over the long haul than a PSA 10.
I've been trying to tell people that, it's the PSA 10's always that kind of grail everyone wants, or whatever 10 it might be. But yeah, it's very, I did a video a long time ago showing like the prices through the boom, and PSA 9s actually perform right up there, if not better than a lot of their PSA 10 counterparts. And so, yeah, I think that's a very unknown thing out there, that PSA 9s can actually be good investment pieces.
Again, I just want to say thanks, Alex. You've been great, and I appreciate every bit of the advice. I have made, I can honestly, my personal collection's tracking about $120 down right now, but that's my collection. But my uptick is that everything in my sold products, I'm actually about $4,000 up right now. And if I continue to hold it, it will continue to go.
Love hearing that. That makes doing all these videos worth it, to hear stuff like that, hear people doing well. So Don, congrats on that, man. I really do want to say thanks so much for all the support you've shown on the channel, gifting memberships, being a member yourself, participating in the pack breaks. I just, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate everything.
My pleasure, buddy. I appreciate you being out there. I look forward to seeing you when you come down to Florida.
Absolutely. I'll see you then.
All right. See you, buddy.
All right. Bye. All right. That was Don, everyone. He's a big channel supporter. I'm sure some of you have been got memberships from him already. Show him some love. Next up. All right. I don't want to butcher the name, so I'm going to let you say it.
Butcher it. Go ahead. What do you got?
Joaquin?
You got it.
There we go. Joaquin with Pokemon. What's going on, man?
One out of 40.
Really?
I'd actually get that one. Yeah. So what's going on?
I meet a lot of people on a weekly basis, so I have a pretty good idea on names. But I mean, sometimes I still screw up.
No, you did a good job. Better than I would have done.
So what's going on? You want to give your intro?
Not a big intro. I'm an old dude. I'm 47 years old. Got into the game or to Pokemon cards 2017, 1999. I was no near aware around Pokemon whatsoever. But my kid, who was 6 or 7 years old, got a pack at Target, opened it up, got a Decidueye GX, and I was hooked from there. So that's what, that's, and we've been collecting and buying and flipping ever since. And I love the channel. I've been watching for a bit. Oh, I mean, I'll be honest, I miss a little bit of the beef between you and the other nomics. I like the old vintage versus modern debate. Always got me a kick and a giggle watching him trying to push his point of vintage is the holy grail of everything, and modern is just like down in the gutter type of stuff, and you just duking it out with him. It was a lot of fun to watch. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, I think Jay's a good person. He's got a good heart, and I mean, he truly believes, and I feel like he truly believes in what he pushes and what he believes in, and I just see it differently, and because of that, we clash pretty hard, and it's just. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad we're kind of past all that, and everyone's kind of doing their own thing. But
Right.
yeah, it was those were some good knockdown drag out debates back then. I agree.
I think what we always talk about you're trying to figure out who's the average investor or who's the average person in the market. We know that these types of channels are a pretty niche type of group, right? The people that are hardcore in it, who's looking to see. I'm just trying to see, maybe you have some questions for me. I consider myself an above average investor. I have a full-time job. I teach, I'm during the summer, I'm sitting here grinding away, buying collections and binders and stuff like that. We got into the hobby looking for the treasure. We like the treasure hunt of it all, right? Cracking the packs and looking for the treasure, until the booster boxes during 2021 became so expensive, and all the bulk came down to like 1 cent a penny. You couldn't sell the bulk. So all that stuff kind of changed for me, where we started to transition from the loose cards to the booster boxes. So that's kind of what we're collecting now. We kind of sell the loose to collect the booster boxes. That's kind of our play. So we look to source it, sell it on wherever, Instagram or what have you, and then keep the booster boxes as a collection investment, whatever it is that you want to call it.
So how old are your kids?
Right now they're 13 and 15. So yeah,
okay,
so
they're older. So they kind of understand the whole. I was gonna say, if you got young kids, they might be like, "Well, why can't we open it?" So they kind of understand the whole keeping it sealed thing. Then,
yeah, they understand it. But the idea is we still keep that treasure hunt going by buying large collections. So then we're sifting through the cards, seeing what's there, going through the common and uncommons, and seeing the $4 or $5 treasures that are there, selling those, getting enough $100 to get another booster box or a case and all that other stuff, and just sifting it away. But
I think that's what the hobby's built on. I mean, that's what I built my collection on when I started. I mean, I think that's the best way to start. I mean, if anyone's watching, wondering how to start, this is how you start right there. I mean, that's exactly it.
And that's all we really do. We don't have, we're not like Retro or them, who has a full-time job, who can go and, find the 50 or 60 cards on eBay and get them graded to PSA. Like, I'm with you. And like, it's like a passive income. You buy a box or booster box and you just let it sit there. It's not, you don't have to think about anything else over the course of time. You're not necessarily going to lose any money. You don't know how much you're going to make,
right?
But more than likely, you're not going to lose any money.
Yeah, more than likely. There's ups and downs. Like right now, if you would have bought, Scarlet Violet or Paldea, upon release, you're probably down some. But as long as you're trying, you keep your head to the grind, and you're not trying to look at things weekly or monthly, and you let things age 1 or 2 years. There's been very few times in this hobby where that hasn't proven true. So I'm right there with you.
Is there any time in the hobby where that hasn't? Again, price point and entry point makes sense. If you're gonna get something 5 years later when it's already at 500 or 600, trying to make your money, then opposed to, I forget who was it. You that talked to somebody who said that they only start looking at sets maybe a year after they come out.
Yeah,
and then that's when they start building their position on it, because it's pretty much.
That was a great idea up until Sword and Shield. So Sword and Shield, it flustered everyone so much because everything was coming out of the gate so hot, and if you didn't get in right away, it was at $150 a box. But no, that was the norm, right? Like the Black and White, XY, even Sun and Moon, that was kind of the norm. In that first year, 2 years, the stores could always get it from distributors. It was kind of available, and then you kind of started to hear word that it's out of rotation. Distributors are running out of it. Stores are starting to sell out. And that was kind of the time you started to move in, whether it be a year and a half, whatever. But I mean, there's definitely cases where it's taken longer than 2 years for boxes to move. But up until now, there's not one case of one booster box than it was when it was released. So
yeah, I'm a believer in it. I'm a believer in it. But here's a couple of things that with the Chinese market that's emerging and open, no one really has any idea of how this is all going to shake out. I don't think anyway. I mean, the ones that might have an idea are going to get ahead of the game. I guess that's kind of the idea and the question I have of like, is that something that even, and I'm talking about for investment and price points in the future, because we know that there's this thing, and I've heard like different, I've consumed a lot of content over the summer.
I get it.
So, like Japanese only, the Chinese like Japanese because they're fairly similar, and they're making the Pokemon's making a play to get in the Chinese market, blah blah blah, all this other stuff. But eventually, American or English cards, just like Japanese cards, have found a way to the American market. Has American cards ever found a way to the Japanese and Chinese market? And when is that time? Is it going to happen? Again, this is just all, of course, speculation, and just trying to figure out that if you're looking at the long-term health, I believe, of Pokemon cards and the Pokemon card market, barring, of course, any extreme disaster, and even, I mean, I would even venture to say, even besides any extreme disaster, because we went through a disaster, and Pokemon came out all right, that this particular collectible, with the billions and billions of people that are now going to be open to potentially buying board, will at some point look to English and start sifting through these cards here and wanting to crack. I mean, are there any Twitch streamers or whatnot streamers breaking packs in China?
It's a great question. I mean, so Japanese, that's the only one I could see, them, it's so much a part of their culture, and they were the ones who invented it. And they get the product first. So they're the only ones I could maybe see, like, and maybe have some sort of bias like of their own. But yeah, I don't know why China or Korea or some of these other markets wouldn't eventually maybe want English cards too. It's definitely something to think about. It's weird how everything's finding it to us, but is anything finding it to them? Do they collect English cards, or what about countries that that aren't those three? Like, what do people collect in South America? What do people collect in Africa or Europe? It's like it really gives an idea of what's going to be the kind of main language worldwide with Pokemon. I mean, I know usually Australia, whenever I see it's usually a lot of English. I'm sure it's Japanese too, but yeah, it's a very interesting question. I way above my pay grade. I couldn't give you an answer. It's definitely worth talking about though.
Yeah. Have you ever have you ever heard of a streamer or a YouTuber called Pika Pika Papa?
I have. I've reached out to. I've emailed him to try to do a collab, and I haven't gotten an email back yet. So
that guy,
I'd love to have him on sometime though.
Okay, that's cool. Yeah, that's all. And again, if you have, I know you have a lot of big name or in the community anyway who has. But if you have any questions for the average Joe, which I consider myself a little bit above the average, I know what I'm doing a little bit. Feel free to ask me if there's anything that you want. And I'll be here in Charlotte too. So if you're headed down to Charlotte, hopefully I'll see you there.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'll definitely see you in Charlotte. I'll be there. I'm going to be down there Friday night all the way through Sunday, or we're leaving Monday. So I'll be there all weekend. I mean, my biggest question is where do you guys buy stuff from?
We offer up. It's still local stuff. It's just every now and then it's popping the grind and just looking, seeing what's out there. Facebook Marketplace. Did I get my last collection off of that one? It's offer up. Craigslist, not so much anymore. eBay is it's just so much competition on eBay that even if you're looking to buy a collection on there, it's just so hard when we have 5,000 eyes on it. Instagram, people will reach out on Instagram. I've been on Insta for since 2017 and used to buy and sell on there. So I've been on there for a while.
Do you guys still buy any sealed to open for the kids and stuff at Walmart, Target?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. That's part of the fun. We'll take a box or two, but it's not 18 boxes.
No, yeah.
Oh no, it was at one point it was that because it was really because we just wanted the hunt, and we loved opening, cracking packs. So, 2 or 3 cases, we figure it was at that point, it was $1,500 because it was about $500 a case at that point. And then you could sell the rest. You as Danny would call it, the fun money would be like $15 because you'd sell the codes for $30. You sell the bulk for $20. You get these much of hits. So it was cheap fun for 3 booster boxes of breaking all those. Oh my god! If we just kept all the team up booster boxes. Oh, it's stupid. Absolutely
fun
stupid.
though, right? It's fun.
It was great. It was fantastic. But again, yeah. So we kept a booster box. We have like booster box of the Sun and Moon era stuff. We're really starting to do the cases during the Sword and Shield because
Did you guys collect anything else like cards or slabs or anything?
No.
Okay. And I want to be clear. I want to make sure because a lot of people are going to like to hear this. So, I mean, obviously there's an investment aspect.
Yeah.
But I heard you say collect a lot of times. So you guys collect sealed product.
We collect, again, semantics, collect, invest. For me, collecting is investing. There's no, I know people will collect no matter what the price point is. If they love something, they want to collect it, whether they get it for 50, 100. I don't have much disposable income. So, I'm not good. I want to know that if something were to happen, whatever I collect will not depreciate in value where it's now $5. That if we buy something for $100 and collect it a year or two later, that it's not going to be $10.
Right. So let's just just hypothetically, if you like a box and a card, the same. Let's say there's a PSA 10 copy of a card you like and a sealed box you like. They're both $100.
Box.
You're more likely to buy the box.
It's box. It's box. It's
of course.
The box. You have the potential of everything in the box. It's
absolutely.
You have that uncracked box has all the cards in the set that you can imagine. Once you break open that pack, it doesn't have that card anymore, unless
all the mystery's gone.
Yeah, it's gone, and that's and again that it's part of the fun of collecting. So we buy the new, sell the new, or we used to say buy the old or sell the old to buy the new. That was kind of our thing because we WotC, whichever Hidden Legends, we would sell those to buy new booster boxes to open up.
Yeah,
that's what we would. We would buy the old to sell the new. And this is coming from the perspective again of someone who wasn't from the market in 1999, has no ties really to Pokemon as a nostalgic factor, other than coming into a hobby. 2017, got a little bit lucky right before all that other stuff came through.
Okay, and so let me ask you that. Let me stop you right there because sorry, hey, I see a couple guys waiting.
Hey, my bad.
You're good.
Let me go. You good?
No, they're fine. There's a couple more minutes because I want to ask you this. So this is a perfect. Everyone needs to hear this. We got 138 people in here. There'll be more people watching afterwards. Everyone needs to hear this because this is from a real person's perspective. So you being not from vintage at all, right? Let's say you did, come into money or you could afford to buy, more things that you wanted. Would you ever go back to like the middle era or vintage stuff, or would you buy more of the things that you guys have been collecting and enjoying now with the modern?
Okay. So a windfall of, I'm not going to say limitless money, because if it's limitless money, then I'd get it all, right? So this is when the whole investment standpoint starts clicking a little bit more towards and the collection or what I like. I would booster boxes. It's still booster boxes.
Okay.
And then, so if you're asking me, what would I like to buy?
Yeah, I don't mean to put you on the spot. I was just asking. You don't have to answer.
It's a good question. It's a great question. It makes me think. I like it. If I had a windful of money, I wouldn't buy. I wouldn't go car. I would go booster boxes, modern first. Old school, WotC single board second. Back to modern singles third, and then middle era fourth. So that's
what was the first again?
I would go. My first play would be buying booster boxes. If I had an unlimited amount of money or a good chunk of money, I would still look at it as an investment standpoint and buy instead of buying 2 cases of obsidian flames, I'd buy 6 cases of obsidian flames. And then if I had my fill of that, I would crack those open, right? Because I don't need to buy or invest in it. I just crack open the singles and see what I get from there for fun. And then I go back and look at some WotC cards and stuff like that. But again, once you get there's WotC cards, there's not a whole lot after a while. There's not a lot. There's it's nice. There's your hollows, right? And then you move on a little bit, and you have your first gen, second gen, shit, like all that other stuff. But the variation and the difference when you start getting into the, I guess you could say it for me would be the XY era. You start getting a lot of variation with different things, where there's a lot more to collect in a booster box than just, all right, let me get one of those 12 or 13 hits from a base set case or box. And
yeah, I'm in a very unique situation because I came back in, and I mean I was in 1999, and I was also came back in XY, and it's crazy to say, but I have just about the same amount of nostalgia for XY as I do for the WotC, because
I agree.
I came back, I opened the most of it. I think there's, like you said, there's a lot more to collect. There's a lot of cooler stuff. It was kind of when they really got into the alt art, secret rare, real cool arts. They had them in black and white, but it wasn't as cool. And yeah, it's a really strange, I just always like to hear what people, because we're always told that, people are going to find their way back to vintage. And so I just like to hear from someone who wasn't with it if you think you're going to find your way back or not.
I'm not going to, I have no tie to vintage. I have ties to XY. I came in at the tail end of XY. That's awesome. That's where my ties are. So yeah, I guess if your push comes to shove and you made me get one over the other, taking away the money aspect of it, taking away the money.
Right.
If you said one is like, what's worth it more to me, a base set Charizard, or I don't know, let's just say the Mega Blastoise from XY. If I didn't know what cost more, I'd be like, dude, that Blastoise from XY looks a whole lot better than that hollow base set Charizard, like by a mile, not even close.
And I'll be anxious to see, anxious to hear, if we're still doing this in 10 years, to see, how your kids feel too, No, they want to go back and collect like old stuff they've never, heard of, or if they want to go back and collect all the stuff you guys have opened, or, want a PSA 10 copy, or, even older booster boxes, XY booster boxes. It'll be cool to see.
I think it's, I firmly believe that if we try to paint pictures that aren't there, and if you just look at what the picture is what it is. People that grew up in 1999 opened that stuff, love the vintage stuff. People that grew up or that eventually will grow up now will love this stuff. And then, will they find their way back to WotC? There's no finding their way back because they never got back. They were never there to begin with.
Right.
So I'm with you on that one.
Well, hey man, I'm going to let the other guys on. We'll, I'll have another ways in the future. Feel free to hop on again. It was good talking with you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Have a good one. And again, think about that Chinese market a little bit. I know you have a bunch of American, U.S. stuff going on. It's a lot of thought. We have jobs and stuff like that. But seriously, an interesting question anyway.
For sure.
All right, man. Take it easy.
Yeah, nice having you. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for subs. Later on.
All right, guys. Interesting topics there. That was some interesting stuff to hear. All right, next up, the Kadabra Big Spoon. I heard Kadabra was back in the hobby. Apparently, we have him right here. What's going on?
Yeah, what's good, dude? How are you?
How are you doing?
Good. I just wanted to hop on, and am I allowed to present during this or not?
Yeah, feel free.
Okay, I just wanted to show you guys some distro stuff, just because I know people always ask me, and they're like,
present button, and it should bring up the screen.
Okay. Ooh, this one. Yay, nay?
Yep, got it.
Okay. Yeah, I just thought this would be like kind of helpful for some people. I know people were asking about it, and I do have distro, and it's not everything it's cracked up to be. So I'll say
it's
that
not coming up to. I'm trying to see if I can like. I can't make it bigger or anything. Can you?
Okay, let me see. How about that?
There you go. Perfect.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, I just wanted to like run through some stuff because like I just thought it'd be good to share. Maybe not, but Yeah,
Yeah, go
especially
ahead.
with like the new MSRP increase and stuff. It's like it's pretty brutal for the most part. It's not so much reflected in this one, but I'll show another one in a second. But like this is for the reprint of the Lost in Silver booster boxes that some people said about, but they made you basically buy them with all this other stuff.
Right.
So you'd have to get. So I got 3 bundles just to like. I didn't want to get a ton of them and like totally kill myself. But you have to get a case of Lost, a case of Silver, a case and a half, I think, or something like that, of Scarlet and Violet base, and then you got to get whatever 54 divided by 3 is of Battle Academy board games that don't have any packs or anything. So that's just like a pretty much like that's just dead pretty much because everyone else is going to have those and try and sell them too for probably a loss. Plus they're like a pain in the ass to ship. And then building battles, stadiums for Silver Tempest.
So technically, you get them at 86 a box, but you have to take all the other product that they can't get rid of.
Yeah, so like the 8650, people are like, "Wow, that's really good," which it is. But then I'm also eating $600 a board game, so just something to like think about when people are like going for it. Because like I know people are asking if Lost is going to drop at all because of the reprint. I'm like, I just don't know if it will really.
So what do you have? Just like an online store? Do you have a physical location?
I just do online stuff. I like break sometimes, like not really, but it was a lot easier to like sell stuff in Sword and Shield era because you would get it for that price, and then obviously stuff was like, oh, I bought it for 86, and then stuff was flying for like 120, 130, 140, and like upwards. And then like now, if you look at let's see, it changes.
What's your online store?
I usually just go through Discords and stuff. I actually don't have like an actual store to plug really.
Oh, really? So you just kind of sell person to person.
Yeah. I kind of just do that, and I try and honestly give people like as close to distro as I can, plus shipping and everything else.
Do you hold anything long term? And you like we don't
Yeah.
need to say the I word, but
Yeah, sometimes I don't want to get like killed for this, but I actually like slabs a lot more than sealed product.
all right.
Because I just like to collect it. It's not really like an investing thing too much. There's some like
What are
booster
you
box.
collecting in slabs wise? Is it all over the place? Is it focused on certain areas?
I like XY a lot, the gold bordered secret rare stuff. A ton. I have a decent amount of that, and also
Love it.
I like the stamped cards from 2005. Yeah, EX
Okay.
Delta, Crystal Guardians, EX Emerald, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, where they used to put the stamps on the reverse hollows.
Yeah, the reverses. Yeah, I always thought that was cool. So I just like collect those in 10s when I can find them for like a good price, or just
And
buy
is
them raw
that
too.
is so? When did you get in the hobby? Like, were you in the hobby back in 2005?
Not that far back. No, it was probably like 20. It was probably like around XY era, which is why I collect
Oh,
it. Yeah.
okay. So you didn't like remember that from when you were a kid or anything. You just liked them and went back to collect them.
Yeah, I actually watched.
Okay.
I think I watched like Max Mofo on YouTube open a box like back in the day, and I was like, oh yeah, that looks fun. So then that's like what kind of sparked it, and then I got back into it around then.
There you go. Hey, people. Hey, you're living proof. People do just they find the other eras and they go back. So that's kind of showing me that maybe I'm wrong about some of it.
Yeah, I actually don't collect any base set jungle or fossil. I actually hate those sets. I don't know what it is. It just like don't. I just doesn't do it for me for some reason, which is like not really the case for a lot of other people. But either way,
So what do we got here on screen?
so this is so if you scroll to the bottom, this is what my Paldea allocation was. It was 16 grand worth of stuff basically, and they basically they make you get most of this like once you run up the account pretty high and stuff. So let me see. But like this is just to show people that like the prices that stuff is at now is like pretty much like, especially with the coupons and stuff like you're mentioning, like it's pretty much a buy because like there's no way those guys are like really making anything off of this stuff. Like it used to be 86.50 like you saw on the other one for Lost Origin and like Sword and Shield sets. Scarlet and Violet, I get them at 96.50 for booster boxes, which like I think if you look lowest on eBay, it's probably like around what for Paldea, like 104 maybe less, 98. I don't even know what it's at.
Yeah. I mean, if you buy by the case, yeah, it's pretty close to that.
Yeah. So then it's like, all right, take off 15% from eBay or 13%, whatever you want to say, and then shipping costs. So it's like not even close. You're just pretty much eating. You're pretty much eating a load of crap on that one. So it's
And
like
so you're able to move all this amount of product just through private sales on Discords.
Sometimes depending on depending on the set. Yeah. So like Paldea, I probably have like 10K worth of it still.
And this isn't
Like,
your full-time gig, is it?
no, I
Okay.
don't. I actually wish I had more time to do this stuff. I just don't. But it's like, it's getting a little bit crazy with like how much stuff comes in, and then it's like you need time to ship and package and all that stuff. So it's a little much, but it was like a lot easier when the margins were a bit better. Like this stuff, I'm just basically like holding on to a lot of it because I would rather not sell it for a loss. I'd rather just hold it, like, you know, investing, I guess you could say, but it's not really investing. It's just not losing money. So, yeah, I just thought it'd be like cool to hop on and show this. Like,
No, this is
yeah,
awesome. This is super helpful. I appreciate it.
yeah, no worries. But like, yeah, ETBs, like they made me get 120 ETBs. Like, what is one man supposed to do with 120 Paldea ETBs? I'm just not sure. And I'm getting them for 31.25, but then like they tack on $480 of shipping for the whole
That's all I
order.
was just gonna say. So that kind of has to get divided out and added into every
Yeah,
product, too.
so that gets divided out. So like that's a bummer off the bat there.
So realistically, what your box price is probably 97 plus?
Yeah, yep. And then like ETBs is like $32, $33 just to like try and alleviate some of that.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then like you said, the ETBs, like you get a case with the coupon for like, I looked the other day, I think Squeaks had them up, and like I could have bought a case from him of ETBs for Paldea for less than what I got it from distributor, which is like,
Yeah, it was like 20.
it's like
It was like
disgusting.
280 or 290. It was under $300.
Yeah, I was like pretty sick on that one. I was like, oh man, that's pretty bad. So yeah, so we'll see. Like I don't know, Scarlet and Violet's just not hitting yet. I mean, it is new, but especially Paldea was like rough. But I think that was with Japanese 151 that came out. It kind of like pretty much slaughtered it. And now
Yeah.
people I think are panic selling to get Obsidian money, and also for 151 English. Like I think that's why, like, I don't know, like people are just putting stuff up for like deals like that and just trying to get some capital back. But it's like it's not at that point yet for me to do that. But like another couple like waves would be pretty rough to like get through, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, hopefully
But
things get better. Yeah, I
yeah.
hope.
But it's like it's not like I was making like crazy money anyway, like off Sword and Shield. Like I usually just try and give people, like I said, as close to shit as I can. Like it is a business sort of, but I usually do it more for like running up points on cards for like credit cards, and I also do it for like tax breaks. Like I usually use it for that, not so much profit margins
I
for
mean,
that kind of stuff.
absolutely. Like, yeah, I mean, if you're getting your allocations high enough, I mean, even that's worth money these days.
Yeah, exactly. So I
Selling
mean,
your allocation.
and then I guess like all you really need is like one good set, and you can like rebound from a bunch of it. But it's like who knows? It's hard to predict anything. So, but
Well, hey man, appreciate you coming on and sharing.
yeah, no worries.
Keep I know you're in the Discord too, so yeah, keep that info pumping in the Discord. We enjoy it.
Yeah, I'll keep plugging it. No
All right,
worries.
thanks a lot, man.
Yeah, yep. See ya.
See ya. Oh man, I gotta prepare for this one. Here we go. We got Pokemon Gym Hero. Hey, before we get started, I wanted you heard the first thing you said though, right? It was
What?
It was gold cards from XY.
Yeah, it was gold cards from XY. Sure. I know you loving that.
So
the
if anyone
moon.
doesn't know, Pokemon Gym Hero, he's the one in the chat always giving me crap for shilling XY because I talk about what I enjoy. But what's going on, man? What's up?
No, I didn't jump in earlier because I was eating still, but
We're here.
Oh no, I don't got a Leaf. I don't got to press him on XY, bro. He knows where he's at with XY. That boy's in love with that.
Hey Don, thanks again for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it, man. Thanks again for showing up today, John. But, oh yeah, Leaf Green Goblin. He loves that. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you love it too.
Press him on XY. Hey, Leaf Green Goblin, man. The mic's open. Get on after Gym Hero. You shut me down.
I don't know. Just like to kind of touch on what Kadabra was just showing. That's something that I guess people don't realize. Like I've told you before, bro. Like when you order from distributor, there's freight, there's credit card fees. There's a lot of things that get factored in. And then like he showed, you have to buy products that they can't offload, that they're just sitting on, and they're trying to move stuff just like everybody else is trying to move stuff. So distro right now, as much people thinks, like he says, it is like as a benefit or a luxury, it's not really, because I mean, right now you're buying Paldea, you're buying Scarlet, and you really can't even move it. So
Yeah.
unless you want to take a loss, of course, or if you sell it early, or you're a store and you have, you know, locals that come in and are okay. Like I have some local stores that sell boxes for like 130. Like I seen one guy come in there and pay like 140 for a box, and he didn't even question it. And I just, yeah, I know, I just thought that was wild. But I mean, if you could do it, but
So you have distribution. So I mean, I know we've talked before. How do things usually break down? With I mean, you usually do box breaks, right?
it just depends. That's another thing I was gonna say. Like I encourage people. I just got back into playing the actual TCG. I know like a lot of people don't have time or whatever, but if you actually get back into the TCG, you'll realize like a lot of the cards that are playable that have a lot of value. The trainers that people need for decks, like a lot of people might not even know what Forest Sealstone is. That's a card from Silver Tempest. It's like a $15 trainer. It's just a hollow, and people will probably skim over it if they just opened it. But I just encourage people to get back into that, because what I did is, instead of having to sit on all the product, you can open up some of the cases. Then you could go to your locals. You could sell off cards that people need for playability. You could sell singles. You could potentially grade some of the big hits. Like if, for instance, if you pull Iono, you know, alt art, which I did, you could grade it. If you pull the Miriam from Scarlet Violet, you could grade it. And that can like help recoup a lot of your funds, instead of just trying to, you know, sell a case on eBay or whatever and, you know, take a loss after fees and shipping and stuff like that. So there's just other ways. It's just essentially breaking product down like people do with collection boxes, or like people were doing with the Charizard UPCs. So I don't know.
Yeah, and I mean, and it still makes sense, right? Just to keep those allocations high. I mean, just taking as much as you can, and you know, doing what you can to get your money back.
That's why I'm also happy though that I'm with MVP. I know a lot of people. There's a lot of people who do know about MVP, but there's a lot of people who don't. But MVP doesn't make you take none of that stuff. Like I paid $96.50 for Obsidian Flames, and you don't like, you get to pick like what you want. I don't have to take ETBs. I don't have to take, you know, those board, you know, the battle academies. I don't have to take none of that. Like I paid 105 for Silver Tempest. Sure, you know, I didn't pay $86.50, but I got to pick and select what I wanted. And then after after adding in that 600 of Dead Battle Academy, after adding in all the other stuff like the Scarlet Violet booster boxes that he had to buy as well, I mean, his price cost is almost at the same probably as mine. So I just like I just like being able to pick and choose, you know, and not being forced into something.
So, I mean, with your love of XY, how many packs did you want to put you down for the Ancient Origins break? Was it?
You know, actually, just I'm gonna buy them all. Actually, I'll just take the
all
whole box.
right.
Personal box break. Pokemon Gym Hero sponsored.
All right, awesome. Hey man, it's all yours. I saved it for you.
Yeah. No, MVP. No, I know Ponga MVP isn't a secret. I'm not saying it's a secret. I'm saying that a lot of people might not be signed up or be enrolled or be eligible, because I know at one point back in the day when you ordered from them, like I originally found them on eBay. I don't even think they sell on eBay anymore. What happened is when you order from them, they send you an email. You could reach out to them, or they started a beta, and that beta was the MVP thing, the portal where they introduce people to buying from them directly. So, oh yeah, I got you. You're talking to the other guy above. Okay, cool. I was just looking at the comments. He's talking to somebody else, because somebody else was like, Joaquin. He was, I guess he, like, I don't know. He said that Jinxed all done RIP MVP. So, I don't know. But yeah,
that's so funny.
I encourage
so what else been going on with you? I mean, what are I mean, I know pretty much what you do. You're just you know. So if everyone doesn't know, Jim Hero's full time in the hobby. He's, you know, buys and sells full time. So, I mean, what are things looking like? What's the day-to-day looking like? Are you panicking, or is it business as usual? What are we looking at,
bro? There's no reason to panic. What is panicking gonna do to you?
I mean, is it business as usual, or sales good? What's up?
Sales are always good, bro, as long as you're buying, selling, and listing. As long as you buy and sell always, and you're always committing and, you know, listing. And
so 2024, we're not going off a cliff?
No. If Pokemon dies, I die. You won't see me anymore. You probably won't see a lot of people anymore. That's my thing, bro. Pokemon dies, I mean, I die, essentially. I put a lot behind Pokemon, bro. I truly believe in it. Like I've said it before, like it kills me, not kills me, but I think it's funny that You know, you got Dan and all these other like old school and all these other people that literally are full time in this, and they do more numbers than I do, and they say that they're bearish. Like that just is wild because you put so much behind it. And Dan, I mean, I don't know if majority of his portfolio is Pokemon. I think it is. He said at one point that more than he's, you know, comfortable with. So it's just wild to hear that people, you know, are bearish when they're so committed. Like you quit your profession, you quit, you know, your job to take on Pokemon, you know, cardboard, but you don't believe in it. But really behind doors, bro, Dan believes in that. There's no way you can't tell me that Dan doesn't believe in
Dan
Pokemon.
believes, man. Dan's more bullish than he might lead on, I think.
There's also bro, and everybody in the chat, bro. Also, I don't even care, bro. That paywall shit is bullshit. I'm just gonna tell you straight up. It's just bullshit, bro. I know you. I don't know if I can say that on your channel or not, bro. But
this is what you get, uncensored channel.
I'm just being honest, bro. There's no secrets. There's no beans, bro. There's no sauce. Like no one is better than anybody. They might have more capital than you. You know, they might have more time than you. There's no secrets, bro. The plays are there. You can look on eBay and see sold listings. You could look at these people and see what they've sold. Like, sure, they might, you know, get to the play before you, but with modern, it's plentiful, bro. Like, it's plentiful. There's so much modern out there. You could go Japanese, you could go English, you could go like multiple different directions, bro. There's no, you know, oh, you need to pay me for this, and I got the secret sauce that's gonna make you a millionaire.
Bruce City's got a question for you. It's on screen.
Why are you so butthurt about? I'm not butthurt about it. If you want, I mean, it's a tax write-off, not financial advice, because it's a subscription for you. But I'm not butthurt. I mean, if you think you need it, I mean, by all means. But I'm telling you that you don't need it. I don't think. You know, if you don't have time to do the research, I guess, and you want someone to put a presentation together in a nice PowerPoint, then go ahead. I mean,
yeah,
I'm just saying whenever people are on, like, you know, Dan and Retro and all them, they're like, don't spill the beans, don't do this, you know, paywall exclusive. We got all the info. Like, bro, all the numbers are there. They just compile everything for you. Essentially, you're paying for them to compile numbers and compile the information.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, I don't really have paywalls. I mean, I have channel memberships. So someone support me. If you want to pay a little extra, you can get, if you're a pack breaker and you want to be in the pack breaks, you get percentage off pack breaks. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm not about like keeping information hidden. Like, I don't think there's any reason to do that. I mean, I know people will say like, oh, well, it's, you know, when there's paid discords, that way, you know, keeps out the riffraff and things. And it's like, I mean, I guess to an extent, I've had a lot of people, one, show me. I mean, they showed me the Discord. They've talked about the Discord with me, and not, like you said, no secret sauce going on in there. There's nothing. There's nothing you can't do yourself. That, I mean, I could pull all that stuff up on the screen. I mean, the only reason I would like make a Patreon or Discord is like for people who want to like watch me like break down numbers and do the stuff I do on my own. But it's just, you know, you can go to Dan's channel for that. It's just, unfortunately, on YouTube, hour and a half, 2 hour videos, nothing but spreadsheets and breakdown numbers and data analysis. It just doesn't do well. And so that's how I'm going to do on my channel. But like you said, it's not like some secret. I mean, I guess if they want to make you pay for that, you can. I don't know. I
mean, I don't have a problem with like people who pay for it. I just think that you don't have to. But that's just, I mean, also that's an opinion. You know, I'm free to have my opinion, and everybody else is free to spend their $10 a month on the subscription. So, I mean, I don't know.
Hey, Retro's in the chat. I run a consulting business full time. I literally get paid to fix businesses and get them on track time. And experience are valuable. I'm not giving that ish away.
No, that's fair.
For free.
No, that's fair. You said consulting. Oh, pull it back up. Pull it back up. What you're saying? It's like, so consulting business. Like, if you're consulting actual businesses and the actual businesses on other things than like Pokemon, than TCGs, then I agree with you. Yeah, your time is valuable. And I'm not saying, you know, have a sit down with someone for 2 hours and not get paid for it. I'm saying that
I want to give Retro a shout out too. So me and Dan were on Retro's channel for a live stream. Go check it out. It was like almost 2,000 views in a single day. It's tracking. It's actually on track to do more than the interview with the CEO of PSA. Now that could just be because of what channel that was done on, but that's all I want to say about that.
Oh, of course, Pokemon is a business, brother. I understand that. I mean, it's my business. Like, I understand that. But I mean, are you telling me that, you know, your consulting or Dan's, you know, paywall and stuff like that is gonna, you know, turn people into millionaires or put thousands of dollars in their pocket? Like,
yeah,
I
I
disagree
can
with
definitely
that.
see the like, you know, having all the data compiled for you. That's I guess that can be worth it, right? Or I just don't. I mean, if it's like actual, you know, advice, like, you know, plays, like, I think you're right. I think they're out there. I think you can find them yourself. I'm sure people find better plays than what's in there. But yeah, I mean, there's definitely value to someone doing all those, crunching all the numbers for you and putting it all in a
No,
nice,
I'm
like,
not.
you know, a nice ingestible, you know, spreadsheet or whatever.
No, I'm not discrediting it. I'm just saying that, in my opinion, I don't think that paywall is. I don't know. It's just something that I just don't believe in. That's just. It's just that simple, bro. There's no arguing over it. You know, it's just one person thinks one way, another person thinks another way.
People out here netting 6 figures. People want to act like it's because it's about Pokemon. Makes zero sense.
No, yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying, Leaf Green. Like, if you're already engaged in the hobby, if you're already doing research, if you already know these things, then there's no sense in like having to pay for something. And I just don't like when people are like, oh, there's these exclusive plays I can't leak. Like, I'm gonna miss out on so many opportunities because I gotta hit this before other people do. I mean, I don't know. I've been in the hobby a long time, brother. Like, I made plenty of plays that anybody could do. Simple as that. I don't
Hey
know.
man, I love the spice. I love having a spicy in here. This hobby's getting too dull. We need more of this.
Nah, I ain't trying to ruffle too many feathers, brother. I respect everybody. I respect Dan. I think Dan's a great guy. I think Retro's a great guy. I'm
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I just like, that's all I was saying is about
No,
the
we're all
paywall
just
thing.
friends and
Oh yeah,
disagree
for
on
sure.
different stuff. Like
No,
dude,
yeah.
I love Dan. I told Dan. I've already told him. I said if it was just him running the Patreon, I'd be involved. I just, you know, I have my personal feelings about other people. I'm not going to give money to certain people. It's all this. But yeah, I mean, I have nothing against paying for data or paying to be involved in a, you know, different community, you know, where, you know, people may share things that it might take you, you know, a day's worth of research and compiling data to do. And oh, now it's right there on screen. I can just go crunch the numbers and go make the plays I want to make. That makes sense. I get it.
I mean, I've always suggested people too. Like, when you asked me originally when I came on your channel, bro, like, I've always told people they should always buy raw and sell. I mean, grade. Like, that's just like the easiest way to, you know, gain, and then put that into something else and just keep rolling that money, bro. And you could just come up very fast doing that. Like, if you don't grade, like, I seen early in the chat, someone said that when you were talking about grading, he was like, oh, I didn't really value grading until now because you were showing that stuff. Oh yeah, and back to that thing. I don't know if some of them sales though you showed were, I mean, it says they were sold, but $200 for a non-hollow evolutions PSA 10. Ugh, that's hard for me to believe, even though it does say sold. I hear you.
There were multiple bids.
I hear you. I'm just saying that's tough for me to swallow. Because
People love their 10s.
if
People love their consolation
yeah.
prizes.
Yeah, that's right. Bigger number, you know, bigger money, right? I forgot about that. It's a 10, so regardless, people
Honestly,
are gonna buy it.
even if like the numbers aren't important, what's important is people are out there buying things every day that they just want. They're not thinking about how much it's going to be worth in the future. They're not thinking about how easy PSA grades compared to how hard CGC grades. They're not thinking about, you know, what this should be valued based on the pop report. They're just saying, hey, I like this card. I looked at the last solds. Seems reasonable to me. I can afford it. I'm buying it. That's it.
How do
You agree with that?
How do you so? My bad. Say it again. I was reading. Say it again.
Oh, I said people are just kind of like, everyone in the investing or grading space is so worried about all the crunching all these numbers. Like, well, how hard is it to get a 10 over a CGC 10? How hard is it? You know, what's the pop report? You know, what should this be valued at based off that pop report, based on supply in the market, based off what you can source it raw? Consumers aren't thinking that. They're thinking, I want a PSA 10 of this card. Here it is. I look at the last solds. That's what it's worth. I have the money. I'm buying it.
That's no, yeah, I don't disagree with you for sure. I mean, it's like when I was telling you, like I mean, I think it's silly, but the Pokemon exclusive Lechonk, Remember when I told you I graded those and I was selling those in PSA 10? Like, I think that's just a funny card. But
what link you want, Retro?
he wants to leak. He wants to leak to come on here. He wants to come on here.
Oh.
He probably wants to speak his mind about the paywall
Right
thing
here.
that we're
I'm
talking about.
going to take you off. I'm going to take a Pokemofo. Stay here, though. I'll bring you on when Retro comes on.
No worries.
All right, hold on. All right, Pokemofo, what's up?
Hey, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, thanks for waiting.
Yeah. Appreciate you having me on. Good to meet you.
No, good to meet you too, man. So what's up? What's the story?
I know I only got a little bit of time, so I guess the condensed version. I've been watching you. I don't know how early on, but I feel like for 6 months, 9 months now, since you were kind of smaller channel. I just like what you're preaching, man. I agree with a lot of what you're saying. At least like 80-90%. There's some times where I've posted comments before, and I'm like, one little thing that I may try and call you out on, but like for the most part, you're right. I think so, and
No, I welcome that. Honestly, I've said it before. I mean, we can't agree on everything all the time. I mean, that'd be boring.
Well, plus, I get the whole YouTube. You kind of want to make headlines sometimes to grab people. I get it, man. The algorithm. So, I think you probably know some of the things too that you embellish on or hype up a little bit. But anyway, yeah, I've been in the hobby since the beginning. I got back in pretty early, like 2007, 2008, when I was in college, and always kind of like you had a little investor, entrepreneurial mindset. So it's just that seems to be a lot of the folks kind of in the game, so to speak, that's in that investor mindset, but like we still like and enjoy Pokemon and the hobby itself. So
how long have you been back in the hobby?
So like I jumped back in 2007, but I didn't stay. I like bought a couple of I mean, again, I could go off on this for a while, so I'm just going to kind of condense it. But like 2007, I was in college, came into like a little bit of money. And like when I say a little bit, it's funny. We talk about all this stuff in perspective, but like a couple $100, like maybe $400 or $500, $600 in college, thinking like, all right, how can I make some money? And I remember at the time buying a Fire Red Leaf Green and a EX Power Keepers booster box on Dave and Adam's Card World, which like people are probably familiar with that website. They're not even like the best to buy. It's just like all I knew about. Cause like if you Google buying like Pokemon cards or trading cards in general, they probably pay Google a ton. So they're like showing up at the top, but nowadays they're probably like 20-50% higher than if you just do a little more searching and finding. So anyway, at the time I paid probably like $60 to $90 for these booster boxes with the intention of opening them, like trying to find the best card and like selling it off on, I was literally selling on Amazon, selling singles, which is wild and crazy. But, and I was collecting too. And anyway, I don't even know what the point was. The point is just like, I was doing that for a little bit, and it's just wild to look back, like, again, some of the price points on some of those cards. Like I literally opened them and I'm like, what the hell am I doing? Like, this is a stupid way to try and make money. I may have sold off some of the hits for like half of what I paid, kept a lot of it. And then kind of when PSA started, the real premium on some of these graded cards and getting back into that.
When was that? Like, so 2007 to now you're at when?
Well, so I jumped back in again in like probably 2012 and started grading a lot of just like my collection, old WotC hollows, some of the stuff that I bought booster boxes and opened.
So you were early. You're really
early.
I
would, dude. I mean, I should be like up there with some of these guys that really stonked, but I wasn't thinking that this stuff was going to be monstrously valuable.
You're grading, trying to get that quick cash.
Well, that and I mean, there were some things that I was holding. Like, you know what? I'm not going to sell this PSA 9 Charizard for $100. Like, this is awesome. I'm going to keep one or two, so I always kept some. And I mean, investing, like, I know you kind of laugh and joke about the I word. Like, I don't know if it was investing, but it essentially became it.
I don't joke about it. I just get blown up so much for it. So I've tried to dial it back. I 100% believe this is investing.
Well, yeah. I mean, when I say joke about it, I think, I don't know why some people shy away from wanting to say invest.
I don't know
whatever.
either. I mean, you can put that that word right in my mouth. I 100% consider Pokemon investing.
Yeah. And it's like, I wouldn't recommend Pokemon investing to somebody that actually didn't like Pokemon. It's so like, that's the thing. If you didn't know anything about Pokemon, or, like felt that you had a higher knowledge base in some other hobby, like just go down that path. Like, don't invest in something that you like. The good thing about this is if it tanks, or if it goes down, or if it remains stagnant, hell, I'll have fun opening and just, going to town with it.
So what's your kind of like, what are you doing these days? What's your strategy? Are you just like collecting and investing? Are you sealed, slabs? Where are you
Mostly sealed now. I do grade, and I do sell probably like 80 to 90% of what I grade.
Okay. Is that, where's the grade? Is it mostly modern cards? Is it everywhere?
I'll grade modern and some vintage, but vintage has just been tough, man. Like, I got, I was fortunate enough. I know a lot of people came in like real heavy during 2020 and kind of got caught up in that PSA logjam. Like, I had multiple orders that were coming out right at like the peak mid 2020, and I was sending in like hundreds of cards. Didn't care if it was a PSA 2, PSA 6. They would just sell instantly. Vintage for 5, 10, 20x like what you were in for, and that's just over now. I mean, I'm not grading vintage anymore. Get a PSA 6 base set card and can't even sell it for $20. I'm like, what? Like, this is ridiculous. So I've stopped grading. I'm not trying to source things like a lot of these people that are on eBay and TCG Player that are just looking through singles. I'm kind of like you. Like, I don't want to spend my time doing that. I know that sealed will, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. I just know you've said that before. Mm-hmm. Like, you may be doing that more now. I think you've mentioned some plays, but it's like the mutual fund approach. I know that sealed is going to go up, and I'm bullish yet cautious because I think it's changed a little bit. Like, with so many people just having cases and closets and these Pokemon rooms of sealed, I know that, demand and interest is at an all-time high. So like, it'll probably be okay, but I'm not willing to go like just like tens and tens and tens of thousands of sealed on like one particular product. Even though, I mean, shoot, the other day there was a deal, one of those like Twitter accounts that post deals that pop up, and like a Lost Origin case was $699. And like, I jumped on it. I bought one, but like, I'm confident that will be a strong play, like $116 a box all in. I mean, there's no way that in 2 to 5 years that's not like a $200, $300, $400 box.
Well, you could sell it right now.
but
how much did you buy it for?
$699. It's called $700 for 6 all in.
Oh, like, here, so $700.
Yeah.
We'll say, times 15% for taxes or for fees and shipping.
Oh, you're talking about selling. Yeah.
So $595 divided by 6. Okay.
I don't know. I don't know if you could grind it out, but I'm not looking to do that. Like, I actually enjoy some of the product too. Like, I want to keep one of those or 2 of those boxes for like super long term. And I feel like, maybe I'll sell 3 or 4 of them off in a couple years. And
again, I mean, I still think you could probably get out right now. I mean, that's like $100, if what were they going for? They're still going for 140, right? Or are they a little under now with the reprint?
I think I saw the other day that like TCG Player price maybe 138-ish, All
right. So if we did 130, here, if we did $135, $810, right? So if we do 810, I'm gonna do 810 times 0.15. We're looking at $121 in fees. So I mean, or in fees and shipping. So 810 minus 121, 689. I mean, you're basically like already right there at even if you sold right now. Literally didn't let it age at all. So yeah, the same. That's how I felt with that Scarlet Violet base that Squeak was selling for $510 after that 15% off. It's like for $85 a box. I mean, I could literally
no downside risk
tomorrow and break even.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to go. There's no way it can go below that, and even if it does, like, have to have confidence that will, one of these days, it's going to gap up to 100, then 120, then, oh gosh, it's out of print, better get it now, 140. And then it's like, there's no risk in that. But again, like the reason I was bringing that up is, like, if I was one of these super bullish people, I would have bought 10 of those cases. Cause again, you can't use the G word or guarantee it, but there's just no way that that's not going to be a rebound quickly to 150 and then 200 over the next just year. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I mean, yeah, I don't use guarantee. All I say is it's never not happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Not saying it's going to, but it just never not happened if you want to look at the past.
Exactly.
Well, hey man, that was nice meeting y'all.
Yeah,
definitely. I'll be on again in the future. I'd love to hear about some of that. Getting in, like, being in 07 to 2012. Those are time frames where I was nowhere near the hobby, so I'd love to hear more about how things were back then.
Yeah, man. I know.
Are you in the Discord?
I'm not. I actually tried to click the link a couple times because I didn't know how to get in here, and it didn't work. But I'll join it whenever it's working properly. Just you may need to fix it, or I'm an idiot or something. But I clicked it.
No,
and
I've actually seen that from a couple people. I will. I'll get on that for sure. I don't know what's going on with it.
Yeah, man. I'll hop. It's good to meet you. If you're going to be at the Charlotte Collecticon, I got a booth there too, so I may see you there. Oh,
awesome! You got a booth? Yeah, I'll be there both days. So yeah, I'll definitely run into you there.
All right, buddy. Thanks.
All right, see you soon. All right, Dan, I can't hop on right now. I'm throwing boxes around storage. All right. Well, we do have Jim Hero back, and Retro is with us to try to talk about these.
Yo, can you hear me?
About. All right, Retro, what did you want to have said, and we were going earlier?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
we can hear you.
Okay. I was just basically saying, like, I think sometimes because this stuff is Pokemon and people are like, oh, it's just cardboard, oh, it's just a kid's game, whatever, that they're like, that they take away from the idea that this is still a business and people are still making hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars in some cases, but people then go, well, oh, it's just Pokemon. It's like, if you run a 6-figure business, if you run a 7-figure business, whether it's Pokemon, whether it's popsicles, whether it's, like fabricating metal, it doesn't matter. It's business. Showing your business structure, showing how you run business, showing how you make money, that is valuable, whether it's Pokemon or not. So if you want to charge somebody, I believe that it's absolutely right to charge somebody and be like, this is where I buy from. This is how I buy. This is how I'm sorting through things. This is how I deal with grading companies. This is how I'm listing on eBay. All of that takes time. Time is valuable. Experience is valuable. I run a consulting business as like my full-time gig. And so like I am acutely aware of leveraging your experience and your time, because those things, like, sure, you can go on E4, you can go on all these forums, you can learn all this information. Absolutely. But putting that into practice and turning it into a 6-figure or 7-figure business, those are two completely different things. So should the information be gate kept? Like, no, you should not have to pay $20, $50, $100, whatever per month to figure out where some rare Japanese promo was released or how it was released. That's not what I'm talking about. But teaching somebody how to make money in this, you should absolutely be able to charge for that, especially if you know what you're doing and have built a 6-7-figure business over years and years of doing this. And saying, well, it's just Pokemon, that takes away from the fact it doesn't matter if it's just Pokemon. It's still a business. It's still making people money. So that's what I was trying to say in the chat. I'm not sure if that like came across well, but
I don't disagree with nothing you said though. That's why I'm confused.
Okay.
Like I don't disagree with you. You could charge people $500 if you want. I understand that the information is valuable. Like me and you do the same thing, bro. Like maybe your numbers are higher than mine. Maybe my numbers are higher than you. Dan's numbers are higher than mine for sure. Like I know that for a fact. But I mean, like, yes, the information is valuable in showing people this, but would I say there's a secret sauce to it? No. But you're more than welcome to charge people. I'm just saying. So look, for instance, if you knew the information, right? If you knew all this stuff, are you going to pay for a paywall? Besides supporting, just to support, are you going to pay for a paywall?
I think, well, it depends too, right? Like I'm not like for me like I've been in Dan's paywall before. You can if you're just trying to do this as a business and to make money, you can learn infinitely more just watching Dan's videos and listening to what he says and watching what he does than you can get out of that paywall specifically.
That's what I'm
Now,
saying.
but like, are there other like if somebody that I thought was doing much better than me or knew a lot more than me, like specifically in the Japanese market, for instance, and they had information or processes that I think could improve my business, would I pay for that? Yeah, absolutely, I would, because I think that would be overall. And like I do, like I'm in Daily Refinements Discord.
Yeah, Daily Refinement we do it on YouTube. That's what
yeah,
like
like
yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I don't they don't, they're not they're clothing resellers primarily.
They resell everything. But yeah.
Yeah, but I feel by being in that group, because I mean they have calls for everything. They have toys and antiques, they have Amazon resellers, shoes, clothes, blah blah blah. Like
all that.
Yeah,
I know.
I've learned so much about so many different things from being in that, and just so much about like how eBay works, how to think about like how to update your processes, be more efficient with your business, like all sorts of things.
Okay.
So to me, that's worth paying for. You know
So
what
like
I'm saying?
not to cut you off, but see what you just said, all that stuff, that sounds valuable. Are the paywalls that people are the paywalls that people on YouTube that are making content that are saying this is our paywall, are they providing what Daily Refinement is providing?
I think that's what I'm saying. Like
that's my argument is like I understand if the information is valuable, and it is like you just gave a plethora of things, not just Pokemon, not just how to operate your listing, how to list, how to sort, how to source, how to organize, how to store. Like there's a list of things that Daily Refinement tells you and can show you. I don't think that these paywalls on YouTube of Pokemon content provide all those aspects. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's when I say it's bullshit. That's what I mean.
I think it's how you market it too. Like Dan doesn't really market that Discord as like this is gonna make you rich or anything like that. I think it's more, he markets it more as like, if you want additional content, if you want content where we compile a lot of the data into spreadsheets and things like that, like if that's stuff you're interested in, or if you just want access to, like, I know he does like office hours and Jake does office hours and things like that.
That's
So
cool. That's cool.
I personally, like as a business, like I personally as a business don't see value in that. Like I'm not gonna probably nothing in there is gonna do much for my business, but I'm not mad at somebody else if they think that is worth their $10. You know what I mean? Like if they want more content, if they want more direct connection, if they want to be a part of like an exclusive community, that's fine. Like I don't fault them for that.
Let me cut in real quick. I want to try to get the conversation where I think you guys want it to go. So look, obviously love Dan, friends with Dan, support him and his everything that he does.
Oh yeah.
But the thing I think like Jim here is trying to get at with your retro is kind of like like last night or a couple nights ago on the stream, like saying like, oh well, this play or the sauce that's going to be put behind the paywall. I think that's more what he's talking about, and less like the all the other value that you get from it with all the data and stuff. But like just saying like, oh well, I'm going to release those plays behind the paywall type stuff.
Well, it's funny he says that too, because it's like it might be a different card behind the paywall, but Dan's already said, or behind the paywall, but like Dan has already said so much and spilled so much information that I can't imagine that whatever he's going to do behind the paywall is like that much more esoteric or in-depth than what he's already spilled. Like I constantly tell him, I love Dan, I love his content, but I constantly tell him like, dude, like what, like you're just creating competition for yourself. And I've told him this too, like, here's the thing. A lot of people will watch the plays that Dan's doing, and I'm trying to figure out how to word this, but like a lot of people will think that like, oh, well, like Dan's doing it or all these other people are doing it, I want to do it too, and not understand that like flipping cards and running a business are two entirely different things. So a lot of times, and especially what I've been seeing recently with like modern promos, different things like that, is these people that don't run businesses but watch channels like Dan will copy the plays and then paper hand the cards when they get them back because they don't have the capital to sit on them for what they should sell for, and then that tanks the market. And like you could say, oh, well, you're just mad that you can't sell cards for as much as it maybe, but like that's not helpful to anybody, you know? And like if you're just trying to get in so that you can like get something in, dump it as quick as possible just to get it's like that, creating more of that sort of competition for yourself and like telling people that probably shouldn't be doing this as a business how to do these things, in my opinion, like first of all, like it just doesn't make sense. Again, I run a consulting business. My time is valuable, my information is valuable, my experience is valuable. I'm not giving it out for free because I know it can go on to make businesses hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars over the course of their lifetime. So I charge for it. So I would not be, and a lot of part of the reason too I deleted a lot of my old YouTube videos is I'm like, why am I telling people all this stuff for free? I want to be helpful. I don't want people to get scammed. You know, like I want to do the best I can. But at the same time, I've spent years doing this almost daily, digging, learning, getting scammed, getting screwed over, paying too much for stuff, losing. Like, why would I give that out for free? That just doesn't make sense. It's not like I don't want to be helpful. It's not like I think I'm better than anybody else, but like I've worked for it. And so if other people haven't worked for it and just want to come to a channel and get information for free, like that, you know what I'm saying? Like that, I don't know. Like, it's like, do some work for it. I'm willing to help you out, but I want to help people out that want to help themselves out. So if you don't want to put in any effort, you don't want to do any of the work, and you just want to come to a YouTube channel that tells you how to like make money for free in Pokemon, like that's not a net positive in my opinion. You know, so like I'm not going to make that kind of content in the future. And yeah, I don't know. Sorry for the rant.
No, you're good. See, this is the thing. I agree with what you said about like providing content when you were talking about like daily refinement. So I agree with everything you're saying. Yeah, you put years in, just like I've put years in, just like a lot of people who's been in the spaces put years in, right? But the confidence where I come from is that even if I've helped somebody or the beans, as y'all say, or the sauce is spilt on YouTube, any random guy who come in and taking that information, if they take that information, they're not going to be able to execute the way I am. They're not going to be able to do the things that I am because I have the experience. So I don't even feel like fear them knowing that stuff or having that information because I feel like I could still execute better than them. So
that's true, but it's kind of like.
But I feel you though, and you wanting to get paid for your time because I have a CPA and he's my best friend, and I still pay him whenever I have a meeting with him. I still pay him. So like I understand that. I understand what you're saying. I wasn't like there was no hate in what I was saying. I was just saying that paywalls that don't provide the proper, in my opinion, proper knowledge, proper information, proper things aren't worth it. So, but if you want to just support Dan because Dan's a good guy, by all means, throw him $10. I mean, I don't care.
No, Dan doesn't need any financial support. He's doing just fine. But
I know he does. I'm just saying.
Dan's doing just fine. But like, nah, man. Like, and I didn't mean to make it sound like I was angry at you or anything. Definitely not the case. But I've seen people make videos before about other people who have like charged for consulting services in Pokemon and been like, well, that's just stupid. And I don't agree with that. And I think that the people making those kind of videos don't have an understanding of business and leveraging your network and leveraging your experience. And so, yeah, it gets, and to your point about executing, it's kind of like this, like, have you like, when I was younger, like middle school, high school and stuff, like all my friends loved playing basketball, and the YMCA was like, you know, the place to kind of like play basketball on actual decent hoops. And you would go in there and a lot of the time, like the court would be filled with kids. and you wouldn't be able to play. And like, obviously, like there needs to be a place for kids to play and stuff, but you can't run a 5-on-5 or a 3-on-3 when kids are going crazy all over the court, right? And so that's kind of how I feel with this stuff. It's like, are they like, can those kids play basketball the way me and my friends can? No, absolutely not. But at the same time, like they're taking away from our court time. It's the same shit. Sorry for cussing or what. It's the same way I feel about the market. I'm not trying to sound like, you know, nobody else should be in the market or anything like that. Like, absolutely, like get your money or whatever. But like when people go to a channel, copy a play, and then just like want to paper hand something on auction and like tank the market, or it's like, you probably didn't have any business doing that to begin with. It's kind of like Alex said on the stream. It's like, if you want instant gains and instantly want to make money, like you need, and you're worried about your money turning over, you shouldn't be investing in Pokemon. If you don't have a more long-term mindset to where you're willing to hold through the ups and downs and understand that, you know, the dynamic of how sealed product appreciation works, you probably shouldn't be buying it. And it's the same thing for flipping cards. If you don't have the money to sit on things and sell them for market price, and you're so worried about getting your money back that you're just copying plays on YouTube and then instantly paper handing stuff, like you probably shouldn't be putting your money into this. Like that's not how you should run any business.
Not trying
right?
to not trying to spill your plays or whatever you're talking about, but what card specifically? I just want to I just want to reference, because I want to know, because you're saying I want to reference at least one card, because you said that you shouldn't be buying and then flipping it onto the market. You should be holding it. I'm gonna tell you right now. Like, any modern play, any modern card, any Ultramon card, I'm not holding that shit a month. I'm not holding that shit a week. As soon as PSA scans that shit in on the grade, it's listed. Charizard,
for sure.
Garchomp, Umbreon. Like I could say all the Ultramon, like the Starmie V.
Guys, stop. Keep this for the paywall. Keep this for my Patreon.
Listen. I'm not saying hold the cards. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is, if you go and copy a play and market is $49.99, and you are so, like, I don't want to say broke, but like you are so worried about getting your money back instantly that you're just like, well, I'm going to sell for $24.99. Because I graded for $15. I bought the card for $2. I need to break even right now. It's like, well, dude, you shouldn't have even done that to begin with.
I'll list.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
I'll list the card for $44.99. I'll tell you that.
For sure. But I'm saying, like, I see people all the time, like, and I'm not mad. Like, I undercut. It's business. It is what it is. What I'm trying to say though, it's the same thing that Alex said. It's like, if you want to make, I think people see this, and when people say like, oh, okay, this is how I do it. I buy from here. I do that. People get this idea into their head that this is easier than it actually is, or that it's safer than it actually is, or that you don't have to take risk because they see other people doing it successfully, and they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, like I can do that too. But if you're not in a financial position, again, like flipping cards is different from running a business. And if like the risk reward profile on investing in modern Pokemon boxes is different than the risk reward profile of getting 5 to 6% risk-free rate on a floating rate treasury or something like that, right? So if you're in a financial position to where you are so worried about your money, or you need to have your money turned around instantly, this is not the kind of stuff that you should be doing, period. Like it's not safe. And it's not smart. And ultimately, like, you're probably not going to do well. Right. So like that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not mad at people for flipping. I think most collectors should probably like learn more how to flip so that they can collect at a net zero, or at least like, you know, make their collection less expensive to them overall. But
So how exactly does this tie into the modern Pokemon market dying in 2024?
I don't think. I hope it doesn't die in 2024, right? Like Pokemon's got some great releases lined up, and all that stuff.
Like you said in your thing, you said that Pokemon's been killing it with the art, with all that. They're at the top of the top right now. Like, bro, like nothing's touching Pokemon right now. And Alex knows though. Like, going back to what you said, I always discredit myself. Like, Alex tells me all the time that he thinks that I make what I do or what you do or what Dan does seem too easy, or I don't give myself enough credit. But that's just because I think it is easy. And I do think anybody can do it. But like you said, yeah, if you're not stable, if you don't have the funds, if you don't have the capital, if you don't have all these things in place, then no, you shouldn't be doing it. But if you do have all them things in place, I think it's very easy for anybody to do what we do. I don't know.
I don't know. I think
maybe I think it's too. Maybe I don't give myself enough credit, or you enough credit, or Dan enough credit for what we do. But I don't know.
I don't. So I don't think it's difficult to flip a card. Like I don't think that I don't think it's tough for somebody to figure out like, hey, this is selling for $25 raw, and in a PSA 10 it's selling for $150, and I just sourced one at my local card store and it looks like it's gonna 10, so I'm gonna grade this. I don't think that is difficult. I think scaling this into a consistent, sustainable business to where you're doing similar numbers month over month, growing your business by X percentage month over month, then that's another thing too, is I know a lot of people that have really nice cards that know a lot about the hobby, but have no idea how eBay works, that don't know how to title their listings effectively, that don't know how to use the right item specifics, that don't know like all the little eBay, like once you know cards, great, like you hit the ball. You haven't even made it to base yet. Like learning how to sell, learning how to be an effective seller, learning how to make these platforms work for you, that's a whole other ball game. So I see, like, I don't think it, like I said, I don't think it's hard necessarily like to flip a card, but flipping a card and running a card business are two entirely different things. And that I think requires a certain level of like experience, knowledge, business acumen that you can't just get from reading or watching something on YouTube. You need to do it yourself. You need to be immersed in it. You need to have failures. You need to see what works. You need to see what doesn't in order to be successful in the long term. If you just copy what everybody else is doing, like you're not going to be successful. And ultimately, like, because of the way that this business works, like you're putting your own capital, a large amount of your own capital on the line. So if you're not comfortable with that, if you don't understand that, like you can't, sorry for ranting, man. I don't know. Like,
no, I mean, honestly, I know what both you guys are saying. Like, I don't know. I kind of like what Jim Hero said. It's like, I truly do think that anyone who's been grading and doing this for a long time, I think they do devalue themselves. I think they think that it's easier than it is. And I think, like, you know, kind of like Retro, like I'm sure you've read some of your comments, like someone commenting like the market's irrational, or what we kind of talked about at the end of the live stream about it being irrational. Like, I just think people view things as irrational because they do it, they know it's easy, and they think everyone, it's kind of like a plumber that comes into your house and does a $500 job in like 2 minutes, right? It's like, this is so stupid, people are paying me for this. But that person couldn't figure it out. They tried to YouTube it, they didn't have the right tools or right parts, they had no clue what they were doing. But to that guy, it's like, this is so irrational to pay me for this. It's the same thing with this. It's like, you know, someone buying a $70 PSA 10 when you could source it for $5 or $10, it's not irrational. It's just, that's what the market values it at, you know, and they're not thinking about like how many PSA 10s versus CGC 10s or how hard it is, the pop reports. They just know that, hey, this is $70. It seems reasonable to me. Although recent solds have been $70, I can afford it. I want this card. And I think all you guys definitely devalue, or I don't know if you do it just like being sarcastic or not, but I think there's a little more that goes into grading and making money successfully than just it's free money and everyone gets a 10 type thing.
100%. And I'm not trying to sound like condescending or rude or egoic or anything like that. But what I will say is a lot of the people that are like maybe big in the hobby now that were here before the boom, a lot of those people, like I don't just want to say that they got lucky. I mean, to some extent, like they did, right? But most of those people, outside of very few people that have continued to scale their business, most of those people do not know how to source, or could not source effectively in today's market up against people like, you know, Jim Hero or me or Dan or whatever. Like, those people were built in a time where competition was minimal. Things were a lot easier. You had much more collections and just cards out there. Less people were looking for them. That if they tried to compete nowadays without all these capital gains and all this like backlog of inventory, they'd get absolutely smoked. Because I'm being serious. Like, I'm not trying to be rude, but like, it's just a fact. Like, those people were not built in a time where in order to grow a Pokemon business, you had to be aggressive and always have an edge on the next person. Back then, like the market or the competition was maybe 1%, 10% of the size that it is now. So yeah, like, I don't know. I just see like the experience and time and energy and learning as valuable. And so I would say, Jim Hero, like, maybe you should give yourself a little more credit because you have been able to stick it out through that time. And again, a lot of those people don't necessarily like, I don't think that they could compete nowadays. Because like I said, they were just built in a different time. They don't have the same information. They're not used to dealing with the same level of competition. They don't know how to navigate. So yeah, apologize if that comes off rude or condescending or whatever, but like that's just legitimately how I feel, you know. So.
Stop apologizing, man. We can talk freely here.
Well, what y'all just got from Retro is he's shitting on all y'all. That's exactly what he just did.
Nah.
He just shit on all y'all little worms. That's exactly what he just did.
No, not at all. But
hold on.
Anyway.
What you doing, Retro? You got a couple minutes?
Who we got?
Dan. I think it's Dan.
We got a special guest coming here in a second.
Oh, no.
We got Dan the man.
Yeah, I'm just packing orders, so I'm down to chill. I would be on camera, but I'm moving around.
How are sales for you, man? Everything been business as usual? Nothing too lol or nothing?
Yeah, no, it's been good. Like my business continues to grow month over month, and you know I feel blessed and happy for that. But the longer things go, man, the bigger stuff gets, the more freaked out I get because I'm just like like this can't last for. I don't know. I'll let somebody else go though. I've been talking a lot.
All right, well Dan's here. He's here to defend himself.
Dan, someone in chat doesn't know who you are. You got to give a grand opening.
Dan, did you want to leave your your Patreon link in the chat? Because some people I think we're asking for it.
I know Patreons can be very offensive to some, and I'm not saying that's you, Jim Hero. It's funny though, like a year, I forget exactly when it was, like a year ago, paywalls were all the rage on YouTube. There was that whole, like, you know how we have cycles of drama? There was like a solid 2-week cycle where the PokeTube was all on paywalls and this and that, and it's just funny to me. Like, my take on everything, I mean, I understand some people's take is like, what if they're actually giving out bad information behind there? What if they're giving out things that can damage people? And one thing I always make it a point to not do is like, buy this and you're guaranteed to make money. I tell you more in depth what I do and why I do it. I show you some more in-depth data. I mean, I know.
Are you worried about people looking though and being like, well, Dan's successful, I can be successful?
There are going to be people who like take any information the wrong way, and there's nothing you can really do about that. There's going to be people that dive in too deep and try to quit their job and then try to replicate what they see someone else doing. And I mean, at the end of the day, like you can't really protect everyone from themselves, right? And that's whether you're talking about investing, flipping, speculating, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, what I try to do is I try to just spend several hours up front. I'm a spreadsheet guy. I love data. So I just spend a few hours. This Sunday, I'm actually presenting to pump my own Discord a little bit, to pump my own Patreon. I am like, Retro talks about me spilling the beans, spilling the plays. I'm just going to literally go on TCG Player and live. I'm going to talk people through who I buy from, why I buy from them, what to look out for. I think a lot of it's fairly common sense, but some of the things that I think are common sense
aren't common sense.
Are not common sense.
That's exactly why you should not be sharing them, because you're just creating extra competition for yourself for literally no reason. Y'all could just
$10 a month for $10 a month.
Hey, Dan,
y'all could just continue to make the how to be a good collector, buy the value. You guys could just do that in perpetuity.
You know what I told?
Hear how to make the plays.
You know,
it's easy to sound tough, Retro, behind no camera.
I love competition, right? Because you believe in yourself, right? You're bullish on yourself, right, Dan?
And that's the thing. I've actually made this joke to Retro before. I believe maybe it was in a Discord call or maybe it was in a text message. I don't remember. It's too easy right now. It's too damn easy.
Way too easy.
I'm a little bored at times. I want it to be. I want a challenge. It's game point. I'm checking you the ball.
Yeah,
it's game point. I'm checking you the ball.
You paid your house off with
Let's go.
Cases. Let everybody else eat for a couple of years. Like
what does Walmart do? What is James? What is the NG Emporium doing right now? He's driving the prices down. He's building himself up. Like he just wants to gobble up all the competition. I'm gonna give you the plays, and I'm still gonna try to beat you. Like here's what I'm doing. Here's how I'm doing it. Here's how the sauce is made. I'm
gonna show you. I'm gonna show you my hand.
That's all fine and dandy and sounds really cool to say, but in literally no other industry will anybody ever do that just to like look cool and say like, oh well, I have hubris in my business. Like that's just not something people do. Like you look at the best performing hedge funds in the world. The best fund managers are not going to hop on CNBC and be like, well, I have such hubris in what I do, so here's what I do, and here's exactly how I do it. Never. And those guys are doing infinite multiples of what people are making in Pokemon. So the idea my business is so strong, I could just tell it's just so dumb. It is just so
the crazy
dumb.
thing is they literally do. They literally do. The best investors in the world, the best investors in the world write books and give you the plays. They give you the playbook, and no one does it.
Benjamin Graham is the best investor. Okay, yeah, Benjamin Graham is the best performing manager in the United States right now.
Do you not know who Benjamin Graham is? I mean, Benjamin Graham, Warren Buffett.
I've read the book, Dan. I've read the book.
Dan, Retro sounds concerned and worried right now. He's gonna try to snipe out your
I'm legit
operation,
not
brother.
because like I have a moat that Dan doesn't have, which is like buying from other countries. So like I'm just saying like it sounds all good and like to have this huge, but it's not smart. Like you can't ever convince me it's a smart thing to do.
Hey, Retro, look at the comment. Look at the comment on screen. It was said as a joke by Leaf Green, but I mean, read it though. Dan wants more competition because his competitors can't handle more competition. Maybe that's it.
Oh, jeez.
Maybe. I mean, it hasn't affected my business yet. It's just like yeah. I honestly, if it got to a point to where like I was worried, I would just go do something else. Like it's not like my bottom line has been affected. Like it absolutely hasn't. It's just.
I mean, you wouldn't need to do something else. You already do You said you would do consultation stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm doing that anyway.
So that's so technically you have a real job. You have a real profession. Pokemon's a side thing.
Yeah, it does take up like a lot of my time though, for sure.
But
like
is Pokemon your main income?
No, but it's getting pretty close. Like
for Dan, I'm pretty sure Dan's only income, because he doesn't work anymore, he announced, right? Your only income is Pokemon, right, Dan?
I mean, household income. My wife has a job too. My sugar mama.
Fair enough. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about just in general, just you. Not talking about your wife, obviously.
Yeah, just me. It's a little bit of passive income coming in. I mean, traditional investments doing their thing in the background, but my only working is Pokemon.
You don't have an actual job, right? So,
I mean, I would consider this an actual job, but it's funny how it's like not seen as one. Yeah,
it doesn't feel like one at times because it's too easy, right?
And I say that like I need to be careful because some of the ways that I'm talking, I don't think a lot of people know that it's largely in jest. I don't think a lot of people know that I'm being very sarcastic a lot of times. And I need to be like aware of that. Some people get really butthurt when I say certain things. And I know that I have a couple fans of mine that follow me around in different comment sections, including my own sometimes. So I'm trying to think of the best way to articulate this. I'm spilling the sauce on Celebrations Charizard, and I actually have a little bit of a sarcastic.
It'll probably hurt Celebrations Charizard.
It'll probably hurt some people's feelings, but I have a short going live like later today of 001 SVP, just like how to print money in Pokemon. It's just me, like, I mean, you'll see it. Anyone that follows me will see it in an hour maybe, but right now it is easier than it should be. like, I think if it's consumers buying on the other end, I'm fine with it. If they know what they're getting into, I'm fine with it. But in many ways, I honestly, even against my financial incentive, I want it to get a little harder for me. Things feel a little frothy right now. Things feel a little bubbly still, mostly when it comes to plastic. And if I could do something to make people not invest in it, if I could do something to make people like not buy this from me for $400, thinking
But
it's
you're
gonna go to
literally
1,000.
doing the opposite, because no consumers watch your channel. The people that watch your channel are the people that are trying to copy you. Literally, you are not saving any consumer because no consumer is watching your channel. No person
If more
buying
people,
that card for
if more people copy
$400.
me though, like you were just saying earlier, if more people copy me and it gets paper handed to the bottom quicker, I mean that makes less people get that makes less people lose as much money, right? That makes the margins go away quicker, and
people get hurt.
and what
Yeah,
some
what do you-
people would say.
Are you saying that you think people are investing in plastic? They're not. So you're not talking about the like booster boxes and cases. You think people are buying like those $400 cards to invest in?
I mean, I know they are. I actually, when I was selling Celebration Charizard, I talked about it very briefly, but I think it could have easily been missed. And I forget, I talk a lot in Discord, some free ones, some paid ones. I talk in some Discords that you cannot buy your way into, and they're not public. Like, ooh, gasp! How bad is that? It's not, like, I think a paywall is nowhere near as divisive as an invite only Discord, of which I'm in a couple. So let me just put that spice out there. But where was I going with that? I was going to say, oh yeah, the Celebration Charizard. When I sold 50 of those in a week, there was one person that was talking to me that had over 100 of them. And he was like, hey, I want to buy, I see you have 20 of these listed. I want to buy 10 of them right now. I'm putting them back. Like they literally had me make a separate listing. That was actually two different individuals. And I just kind of asked him, I'm like, oh, are you like, I'm like, I don't care. Are you reselling? Do you have an outlet to sell these for more? Like, are you making, like, I don't care. Make money off me. I hope people can make money off me. But he was like, no, I'm putting them back. I'm putting them back like as an investment, like $240 Celebration Charizards. And I mean, maybe I'm the dummy and maybe they're $1,000 in 10 years. If they are, we're all doing great. Like we're all, yeah, I don't know. I guess we're all in early,
Well,
and we're all.
So here, let's talk on that. You really think all this plastic's going to crash, huh?
Crash. I mean, a lot of it has. Like, shout out Top 10 Pokemon. He made a video of Celebrations graded cards. Celebrations Charizard already fell 80% or whatever, right? I mean, a lot of Evolutions card fell 80% as well, the graded cards. And the sealed is doing a lot better, and that's why I put some sealed back. That's why you put some sealed back. That's all that whole discussion we had a little bit the other night, and we've had on a recurring basis.
Those are a couple instances, but like, I mean, I'm not Jim Hero, just don't beat me up, but like starting with like, XY, like a lot of the gold cards. No, come on. And then getting into like some of the high end stuff from like, Sun and Moon, like obviously the Rainbow Charizard is holding pretty well. Like obviously tag teams are going crazy, but even the alt arts, those seem to be holding. Like, I think like the truly rare stuff and like, it seems to be holding relatively well for plastic.
Yeah, I mean, there's absolutely a spectrum. I think at the worst end of the spectrum would be a $2 ultra modern card that's going to be pop 1,000 in Black Label, being sold for $300 in Black Label or $200, $150 in Black Label. I think that's the worst end of the spectrum. Yeah. And then the better end, like absolutely. I mean, if I had to, like, I mean, every day you're faced with a choice of where you want your dollars to go and where you're going to put your long-term dollars. And every day I go nearer to what it says in here than like buying and hoarding plastic. I mean, I buy plastic, I grade, I buy cards, I put them in plastic and I sell them. And then I buy stuff like this, and I buy, I do a little bit of, a lot of people would call what I do with modern sealed investing. So I guess I do some modern sealed investing too to sell.
No, the only thing I was trying
later.
to get at, the only thing I was trying to get at is like, I know you have a better route for your money to do with it, but like, you don't truly think like every slab you sell to someone like is like garbage is going to go down like the next day, next year, right? Like you believe in some of them, right?
No, I like when I sell, it's funny because like literally every morning I'm packing 20 to 30 sales. And when I'm packing this card for 300 alongside a PSA 9 first, like base first edition PSA 8 or a PSA 10 first edition Neo Discovery. And it might be like a Delibird. It might be a Crobat, ones that people don't care. I think Neo Revelation is the Crobat. But when I pack these two orders side by side, it's that tongue-in-cheek video I made a week and a half ago about where you see the value. Like if I had to hold this versus a PSA 10 Neo Revelation Crobat, first edition WotC Hollow, if I had to hold either of those for 20 years, I know I'm taking the Crobat all day long. Like I don't care that it's Crobat versus Pikachu.
So because you personally prefer the vintage card to the modern card, you think that you're doing some sort of like altruistic thing by creating more modern cards, teaching people how to create more modern cards so that you can theoretically tank the modern market so that it's a better value for people to buy. Like, I don't buy into that. Like, this is Pokemon. This is not food and water. Making these items cheaper for people does not fall into like my moral compass. Now,
well, here, we can take vintage out of it. Like here, let's take vintage out of it though. Like say it's a $300 PSA 10 alt art and that Pikachu like next to each other.
It's Pokemon. Bottom line, like it's Pokemon cards. This is a luxury good. And so I don't see any sort of morality out of like making this stuff cheaper for people. Like that just doesn't. And in my regular consulting business, it's like, do I want the businesses that I'm consulting for to produce more and make more money? Yes, but I'm not going to go out and be like, well, the end product is too expensive to the consumer, so I'm going to play God and teach everybody how to do it for free so that they can reduce the price of this stuff on the open market. Like that just, I'm not going to play you can't play Mother Teresa and run a business at the same time. Again, this isn't food and water. It's Pokemon cards. Like this is Pokemon.
I need to clarify one thing though. Like I am a seller of goods. One good that I sell is information, a Discord, a private paywall Discord, and a monthly Zoom meeting and weekly. Like it's a product. It's on a shelf. When grown adults point at a product on a shelf and cry about that's too much money, he shouldn't be allowed to sell that. What's like, I'm only offering that explanation as to why I'm going to show how people how I buy. Like some people who do this full time who get scared of me showing people how I buy on TCG Player. That's just funny to me. It's funny and it's scary.
It's funny too. I know. I think
I'm not scared for me. I'm scared for them. If me showing you how I buy 10 Celebrations Charizard, and I'm not talking to you, Retro. I'm talking to
he's talking to you, Retro.
some of the DMs that I've gotten. Some of the DMs that I've gotten of like you're spilling too much sauce here. You like why? It's a product that I'm selling. If it sinks me, if 5 years from now it sinks me, if my business is under because I've trained this elite group of like flippers and they all like student becomes professor, student becomes teacher, whatever that saying is. I guess I'm a dummy and I guess I only made a few $100 along the way, a few grand along the way. And then, yeah, it cost me millions, right? Cost me, I don't know. Like I have a product. It's there if you want to buy it. Pokenomics Patreon. If not, you don't have to either. I know, I'm sure that a lot of people that aren't paying for it will end up seeing it anyways, which is funny. That's a thing that goes on too, which I know. But
yeah, people share content, or they share it amongst other people. Is that what you're saying?
What just happened? What just happened?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
You know, one thing that y'all talked about the other day that I wanted to bring up though, I think Retro said it that when you were making the argument about like percentage of 10s that get sent to PSA that get 10s, and he was like, so you're telling me that 50% of the Iona all arts that get pulled are going to be PSA 10s? This is something I think people are really sleeping on though in modern. The modern quality right now, like Retro said, is shit. Like it's really bad. Majority of the cards are very off-center. They have nicks or they have some kind of issue. I don't know how much people have opened Paldea or Scarlet Violet. It's pretty bad. And then there's also a lot of Sword and Shield era that are like really off-center stuff. And granted, I have seen some stuff get 10s. The Umbreon that I showed you got a black label, but I don't think that some of these cards are as easy to get in the PSA 10 or as easy to source in great condition as people think. That's what I like. That's one thing that I wanted to like hit on from the other day when y'all were talking, because I agreed with Retro on that you were saying like the percentage that you send in are going to get 10s versus, you know, he was arguing about what are pulled. And I personally maybe if you're buying on TCG Player like you are and you're getting 80 in, of course you're going to find some that are good to send. But then that's why you have raw listings of Charizard and you're selling them raw because they're not gradable.
And one thing I'm going to show you, I'm literally going to show you this Sunday night. Pokenomics Patreon. I bought 20 Celebration Charizards. I will show you the method by which I bought them. There's a way you can optimize your cart on TCG Player. There are 3 selections that you get. I think one is superior to the others. I think there are ways, once you make that optimal selection, I think there's ways to further refine it to where you increase your odds of getting mint and gem mint. But I think I agree. That's too much sauce for YouTube. But I'm just going to give it to the people who want to pay for it. And then the people who want to steal it are going to steal it. And it's funny, like how people think of the morality of just stealing content like that. They think it's their right to do it. And whatever, that happens in any business. There's some amount of slippage and theft. Yeah, I've actually tracked, like I did an experiment over the past 4 months where I bought Celebration Charizards, 20 of them, 30 of them, 20 more, 10 more. And I classified how many went to PSA, how many went to eBay, how many went to CGC, how many went to BGS. I don't have all the results yet, but I have my first couple waves of like, here are my PSA grades. So of those 10 that I bought, X amount were not gradable. X amount were great, or Y amount were graded, and then split off. This many got 10s, this many got 9s. And I'll create, like, some people are not great with math. Some people are not great with Excel. I think something as basic as creating a little downloadable Excel tool where you put in the PSA 10 price, the PSA 9 price, and you put in the TCG Player price, and you put in what you can sell it for on eBay. And you put in a calculator where you can just, here's the EV of buying a certain card. I think that's a valuable tool to people. I mean, it doesn't sound that valuable because I can whip it up in 10 minutes in Excel. A lot of people don't know how to do that. And
Fair enough.
Yeah. What option do you have for someone who wants to pay $10 and support you but doesn't want to join the Patreon? Is there like a
I mean, you don't need to join anything now. You just explain 95% of what he's about to say on the Zoom.
No, I'm just saying I don't want to, join the Pokenomics Patreon, but I'd like.
He wants to join the damn Patreon.
And when did Dan start buying Celebration Charizards? It couldn't have been after like 3 Collecticons in a row where like all I'm picking up is Celebration Charizards, right? Like it's just. Look, you can make whatever, like, I'm not mad at you for making the content. I'm just letting you know that, like, this idea of, like, well, my business is so strong and I have so much hubris that I'm just going to say everything I know how to do and people can't compete with me anyways. Nana boo-boo. Like, that's fine. That's fine.
And if people think I'm saying everything I'm doing, I mean.
In literally every other industry, people would be like, you are completely you're a complete dingus. Because it's just not smart. It makes no sense. And there's no reason for you to do it.
Like, one thing that Jim Hero said, I think Alex and Jim Hero were talking. I listened to most of it when I was throwing boxes around storage.
Don't do it, Dan. Don't tell them.
All my modern sealed investments. No, all this information, you can just get it for free. Like,
don't tell them, Dan. No, but that's why Retro hides his eBay.
You pay $10 a month. You pay $10 a month. You can get all this information for free. You can follow my eBay. Followers help boost my algorithm.
That's why
go follow my eBay.
That's why
you're
gonna see all my plays.
eBay. It's good for the algorithm. Please
What's
follow
what I'm
my
saying.
eBay.
Like,
eBay?
You can't hide it. You can't hide it from people anyways. Like you can't block people from eBay. Like they're gonna see. They're gonna see what you're doing.
That's what I'm saying. Like all my plays are public. It's catch 'em all collectibles on eBay.
Team Rocket Giovanni.
Is that your only eBay?
Yeah. I don't.
I know a lot of people.
You didn't create a new one.
A lot of people have alt eBay for the real sauce. Some people have public eBays and private eBays, and
I just use the
I have
one.
A personal
just
one.
The one eBay.
If I need to buy a vacuum cleaner on eBay, I buy it on my personal one. Like I have a personal one for non-business stuff, just personal where I have to pay sales tax, all that stuff. But yeah, I'm not talking about just like plays because you can see all those on my eBay. I'm talking about all the knowledge that's behind, all the information that is behind the paywall. It is just a compilation of stuff that you can find for free. Like shout out TCG Fish, shout out Pokedata, Pokemetrics, shout out Pokemon Price. But those guys
should be charging. Those guys should be charging. Why aren't they charging?
Pokemetrics actually a couple weeks ago, he's stopping. But Pokemetrics EX existed. I've been a supporter. I'm a supporter of other Patreons too. I've been a supporter of Pokemetrics Patreon for several months now. And I've always shouted them out. Great website. I compile their data and I always cite and source it. And I use their data. I use TCG Fishes. I use eBay. I use TerraPeak. I use Heritage Golden. I compile all of this data. And some people don't want it. It's like it's a $10 product sitting on a shelf. Are you going to stand in Best Buy and be like, oh my God, I can't believe that they would have the audacity to sell this thing for $10? It's like, what are we talking about? Our paywall's moral. Like a year and a half, and less today, but more like a year and a half ago when paywalls were like the flavor of the week. The morality of paywalls, and as Retro was saying, the morality of like consultations. It's a product, buy it or don't buy it.
The same time next week, vintage versus modern.
Hey, hey, Dan, the only thing I would say about the Charizard experiment that you're doing, Celebration's print quality is better than majority of Sword and Shield quality.
So just buy the ones with good quality. Yeah.
I'm just saying. So like do that same experiment though with Giratina VR art. Go buy 100 of those and let me know how many 10s you get. I would love to see that.
And that's going to be something I discuss. There are reasons I take certain plays. The depth, the liquidity, the ease. I mean, 001 SVPs. That's another one. That's what my short is on today.
Yep.
90% 10 rates, 25% black label rates.
Yep.
Why not partake in that a little bit?
And guess what?
And these are 2 cards. There's dozens of cards, hundreds of cards out there that these can be done with.
That's free information though, right? You could just go on PSA and see that information, right?
But I put it in a nice little box.
Yeah, you put it in a package. You put it in a nice
package. Like, hey, water. Like, I don't have a water bottle handy. I don't buy water. Shout out Pokemon Radar. He just had a podcast the other day. Alex has a water right there. I mean, unlimited amounts of water. I can lift a lever. I have like 4 levers in my household. I mean, if you count the shower, if you count all those, I probably have 8 levers in my household that I can lift a lever and I get unlimited amounts at 2 gallons per minute of all the water I want for essentially free, whatever it costs to run the well pump. And I guess maintenance on the well pump, I have to replace every 20 years. Why do people pay $2.50, $5 for a bottle of water?
I don't know.
Largely, honestly, most $5 bottles of water, all they're doing, they're lifting a lever from a well 1,000 miles away from you. Like all these fancy terms. We don't need to get into a rant on bottled water, but
I got a nice filter in my house on my refrigerator.
Yeah, that's what I have too. I mean,
so by your same logic, it's now your life's duty to go out, show people how to connect to wells, how to dig for water, so that they never have to pay $2.50 for a bottle of water ever again, because you just can't stand it. And really, if people just knew how good the vintage well water was with all the minerals in it, and we're paying for all this modern water bottle crap, the market would just be so much better.
Hey, I just thought about it. You know what? Water companies are putting it in plastic. They're doing the same thing I'm doing. Why am I hating on them? They're putting it in plastic and they're upcharging by 100,000
times.
And
you know what? And you know what? It's irrational. It's irrational for us to buy this water in plastic. We should stop.
Like,
you got to buy the water in glass.
Very good analogy though, Alex. If you're buying a $5 bottled water, thinking it's going to be $10 someday, it is irrational. If you're buying this thinking it's going to be 1,000 someday, in my opinion, it is irrational. If you're buying this as a consumer because you have 300 and you want the card instead, if you're buying a $5 bottle of water because you have $5 and you want the water, that's perfectly fine. I go to the casino and I lose $500. I go to the bar. I go to a dinner. We went to Red Lobster yesterday. $130. I could have eaten at home for $5 for my whole family.
So you got one that says ancient on it, one that says lost. They're both origin. One went up to $1,000. Is it irrational to think this other origin is not going to be worth $1,000?
You got to wait until it's vintage, though. Once it's vintage, like Ancient Origins, it should be.
Am I right, though? Like, who are we to say what's rational?
It's all about context.
I'm not mad at you. Like, you're going to make what you're going to make. It is what it is. I just think because of like the scale that you're at, it's a little bit easy. Like, I was saying this exact same thing to all the spicy boys. And they were like, I don't know, Nick. I don't know, right? And then what would happen a few months later? Colson or somebody would hop in the chat, be like, man, so-and-so is stealing my plays. And I was just talking to them about that like 2 months ago. And now I can't find these cards anymore. And now they're all blown up and blah, blah, blah. Like all that stuff. So look, you know, like it is what it is. I'm just saying. Like,
and if you're talking 001 SVP, if you're talking Celebration Charizard, that is a play. That is a let me think of a good analogy here. That is public domain. So Charizard Celebrations and 001 SVP are public domain. Whereas if you're doing mid-era plays, if you're doing like low pop, if you're doing low pop, that is intellectual property that you keep near and dear to your heart. That is intellectual property.
Hey, let's keep Card Economist and PokeRev out of this.
Oh God, I wasn't even thinking with respect to that. I was thinking with respect to like, Disney, copyright law has been propelled because of Mickey Mouse. Like if you look up the history of intellectual property with respect to Mickey Mouse, every time Mickey Mouse is close to entering the public domain, Disney lobbies Congress to extend out intellectual property laws like another 20 years.
Oh man. This has been more fun than we've had on the
I just think it's hilarious that people are like, oh, like retro must be struggling. That it's like, dude, my business is doing just fine. Like, and so is my consulting business, but I'm not going to stop charging for it. Like,
but
do you need me to buy you a water?
No, I got some water. It's bottled. I'm in metal here. I get this straight out of the tap.
Is like, why not create your own business? Look, I'm doing a little bit of consulting. I'm doing the whole Mexican fisherman thing, the whole parable thing that people say that I'm not the fisherman, I'm the banker, but I'm actually the fisherman. I'm doing a little bit of everything.
The reason that I don't do my own business is because the industry that I'm in, the taxes and the overhead is extremely aggressive. The amount of money, the amount of capital and risk and time I would have to dish out to run my own facility versus fixing other businesses and leveraging my network between retailers and producers, processors. It's like I take no financial risk and I get all the financial gain. Not all the financial gain, but like in some cases, like I'll own a small percentage of the business based on like how big the consultation is, if it's a complete overhaul of the business, whatever, versus just a flat fee. Versus me dumping millions of dollars and literally working, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, my entire life to like bust my butt to barely break even or slightly make a little bit, then be tax crazy. The industry I'm in, like cannabis industry, basically, like federally, like the way the tax laws work, you can't write stuff off as a producer processor. So the retailers are the only people that are able to like write off employees and overhead and things like that. So me as a consulting business, as a third party, setting these businesses up for success or fixing a business that's already operating or, moving KPIs or whatever they need from me, that is infinitely more profitable than me starting my own facility. So
what's everyone doing for dinner?
Bro, it's the afternoon. I'm about to hop off here in a minute and go hit the post office. I just wanted to like air out because I felt like it was difficult to explain like through chat. So
we're all good, man. I appreciate you hopping on, Dan. Thanks for taking some time out of your day. Jim Hero, man, thanks for sticking around so long.
Yeah, I'm into overtime a little bit. I better get going soon.
Overtime? Come on, brother. We're not even punched in on the clock. Stop.
I mean, at least I'm sure that this stream will get some good views for sure. I'm sure that this will do quite well. People love this kind of stuff. So, and I think it's good. Like I ultimately think, like, again, I'm not mad at Dan. Love his content. I think, I think it is a bit silly, and I think he is working against himself a little bit. But I think he's also maybe conscious of that a little bit and isn't too worried about it. So that's totally fine. But,
he didn't mean silly. He meant stupid.
No, I didn't mean stupid.
And again, I wasn't talking towards anyone in particular. Like I've had live stream comments where it's like you're showing too much. I've had these from dozens of people, and I don't keep a list. Like I don't care. I don't keep a list. It's just like general commentary towards it. Going back, like if anyone knows me from E4 days, 9 years ago on E4, 8-9 years ago on E4, I've always been like the plastic premium is just insane. It used to be more the 10 premium. I've long talked against my own financial benefit, and I'm just clearly the outlier. Like the market is right. I am wrong. Clearly, up till now, like I've just been wrong because the market is just the culmination of everyone else's perspective. And right now, the market vastly overvalues everything in plastic more than I do. That's why I have not much of a collection.
Yeah, that's fair. But like at the same time, like you can't. I mean, you can, but I don't feel like it's right to play God. Like I agree with you 100%. Like I don't value this stuff as much as the market does. But that doesn't mean that like my opinion is right either. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, and I think I'm one of the most like transparent people, like showing a lot. Nick used to be way too transparent. Old school Pokemon used to show like literally just how much money he made. I'm not that transparent, but he doesn't do that anymore because he's live on eBay every night. But I've always just branded myself as just honest and transparent to a fault in many ways, and that's the way that I'm happy living life. Like that's the way that I want to be. So if it sinks me, if it's something that puts me under someday, so be it, I guess. There are other avenues that I guess I could chase if and when all my bearish thoughts like come to fruition.
You can always go to MetaZoo.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think what a lot of people appreciate about you is your honesty and transparency. I know I definitely do. Like I trust you 100%. Yeah, like so I think that's definitely helped to sort of like build your brand and to allow you to network the way you have, because people know your like your principles, where you stand, the kind of person you are. They're not worried about doing business with you. So it's definitely worked to your benefit in some capacity for sure.
I've actually had multiple consigners reaching out to me saying like, hey, you sell plastic on behalf of me and you talk about how overvalued it all is. I'm not telling you to stop, but like maybe take it a little easy. Shout out to my consigners who will probably watch this.
All right, guys. All the guests that came on, appreciate everyone and their thoughts. I'm happy you got a chance to come on, and nice meeting you. Retro, Dan, Poke Gym Hero, man. Thanks to you guys. This was a great time. I know everyone enjoyed it. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Box Breaks Monday. Get in Discord if you're not in Discord. Other than that, Pokemon Gym Hero, he doesn't really post anymore. Retrospects, his channel. He's just started posting again. He's going to have some great content coming. And Dan Catch 'em All Collectibles. He's got a store on eBay. He's got a YouTube channel. He's got it all. He's got a Patreon. Go give him all some love, guys. We are out.